what you contemplate. Are we? Am I?
My mic was live. I thought it was, I was swearing about this one thing where the NHL is like, hey, you know when the game starts? We're going to make you tune in 25 million minutes beforehand so you can watch the anthem. Anyway, so I was like, I thought that they showed a replay of the warm up, and I was like, you better not, like, this better not be like an 8:30 start. I would be so mad. I'd be so mad. Anyway, it's not. It's starting very soon. Don't worry. Once the commercials end, you've waited your whole life for this. It's the Canadian, oh no, just the American national anthem. At least it's only one. Hi, everybody. Welcome to your Thursday night. Only one more day till the weekend. Other than swearing about the national anthem, I was actually having a pretty damn good day. Big news in Leafland. I was listening to Steely Dan on the way here. I don't know. It's rainy and crappy in Toronto, honestly. But I like a good rainy day. I just wish it wasn't so cold. Like, it's May 22nd and it's like 10 degrees. Feel like we can do better than that, but apparently it's not supposed to warm up till June. And by the way, let's throw this out there. This is the coldest May on record since 1967. For anybody that's a non-Leaf fan in the chat, that's the last time the Leafs won the Cup. I'm sure you've never heard a joke or made a joke regarding that number in your whole damn life. Anyway, hi. Canes. Panthers. Game 2. Let's be honest. Canes got their butts kicked last time. But it was an interesting game. We had Svechnikov going for Bobrovsky's head, but he didn't do it on purpose, guys. He didn't do it on purpose. No punishment for it either. And then you had Shane Gostisbehere firing a puck at Brad Marchand's midsection. Brad got kicked out. Shane got his team a pretty sexy little power play. It was too late in the game, but I thought it was kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. Listen, do I wish I was a better person than I am? Absolutely. Do I wish I wasn't so bitter? Absolutely. But you know what? I'm just going to own it. This is who I am. Rock You Like a Hurricane is playing. Out come the boys. And we'll see if Carolina can win its first Eastern Conference final game since 2009. That's nuts. They are 0-13 in the Eastern Conference finals since 2009. Isn't that nuts? Isn't that crazy? That's crazy. That's crazy. It's kind of crazy, right? It's a little crazy. But that's how it is. Now, just so everybody knows, we are doing the podcast tomorrow, but we're going to do a little bit later because the Leafs have a fun little press conference at 1 o'clock in the afternoon. And we were like, okay, well, we can do a press conference in the afternoon. We could do it before the press conference. That would be silly. We could do it after the press conference. That also would be silly. So why don't we wait for the press conference, let Jesse go to the press conference, and then do a show right afterwards? And so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. So you're going to get a show a little bit later tomorrow night, but I promise you it will be worth it. With me tonight, we got Hayden Matheson running the stream. We got Rob Malloy on the chat. And I hope you guys are all having a good day. I don't know what's up. What's going on with you? Tell me what's up. How's your day? Seriously, I want to know. Adam perpetuating the lumberjack stereotype, dressing up like a blue-footed booby. Listen, what's wrong with flannel? I like a little flannel. This is a Lululemon flannel. I got it from Lululemon because I was like, you know what? If I get it from anywhere else, it's gonna get wrecked. Lululemon stuff, it holds up. It does. It does. Certified Pineapple Tree. Can you stream SDPN from Sport Check all the time? Popping by is fun. Well, we'd love that. But it's only for the playoffs. We're going to be there till Steve Dangle podcast will be there till the middle of June. So we've still got 3 more weeks. Come on by. Carolina Hurricanes. Oh, there's a guy named Adam Lee. Well, at least his name's cool. Singing the national anthem with his crazy Hurricanes pants. Now, Carolina Hurricanes, Eastern Conference, 2009. Let's talk about that. That would be Carolina and Pittsburgh. And the Pittsburgh Penguins, who had Evgeny Malkin, Sidney Crosby, current Wylde general manager Bill Guerin, Chris Kunitz, Max Talbot, and Marc-Andre Fleury and net, swept them. It's kind of nuts, actually. They scored 9 goals in 4 games. 9 goals in 4 games is not a whole lot. The Penguins scored 20 goals over those 4 games. It was over pretty quickly. Now, the last time the Carolina Hurricanes won an Eastern Conference final, they defeated the Buffalo Sabres. And that's what the year they won the Cup. And on the Buffalo Sabres at the time, Daniel Briere, current general manager of your Philadelphia Flyers. Chris Drury, current general manager of your New York Rangers. Derek Roy, Jochen Hecht, Alish Kodalik, JP Dumont, Jay McKeeb, Rory Fitzpatrick, Tony Lindman. Oh my God, Tony Lindman. And a young Thomas Vanek. He was only 22 years old on the Carolina Hurricanes. Oh, by the way, Ryan Miller was the goaltender in that series for the Buffalo Sabres. Didn't have a great series. For the Hurricanes, who won, it was a 7-gamer. Corey Stillman, Justin Williams, Doug Waite, Ray Whitney, Eric Stahl. Eric Stahl, who just finished playing. Eric Stahl was 21. Rod Brindamore was also playing in that series. He was 35 at the time. He's now coaching. So Rod Brindamore was there. Mark Recchi, who would go on to win a Stanley Cup as well a few years later with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Mike Pack Your Shit Commodore, Aaron Ward, former TSN broadcaster, Cam Ward. Steve used to make fun of Cam Ward early on in the show because he said that this Stanley Cup run got Cam Ward more games in his career than anybody else, because Cam Ward was extraordinarily mid after that. And by the way, also played in that playoffs, Kevin Adams, general manager of your Buffalo Sabres. How about that? All these guys going on to big things. Also, Carolina Hurricanes defenseman Glenn Wesley, absolute legend, was a Leaf as well for a minute. Went back to Carolina. Just loved it there. All right, now we are about to get. I'm glad that I got to talk through the anthem. We're about to get started here. We'll see. We'll see if Carolina can do anything different tonight. The Martinook line is out to take on the Barkov line, and we are underway at Lenovo Center in Raleigh. Kids, let's get. Oh, that was a big hit by Carrier to start the game on Seth Jones. Looked a little like a head into the boards thing. Martinook with the puck. Oh, we got somebody falling on the thing. All right. We're everywhere today. Now, it's worth noting that Jalen Chatfield is back in. When you start a rookie defenseman in the Eastern Conference Final, you can be burned. And I don't think the Carolina Hurricanes had a choice. But Jalen Chatfield being healthy is probably pretty good. They probably like that. Jackson Blake scored last game. He also had a play that led to a goal against. And when he scored, Aaron Ekblad decided, you know what? How about some flying elbow grease right to the back of your head? And that's what he did. Nothing. It was crazy. There was a puck shot at a human. There was a goalie's head knocked, and there was a player's head knocked from behind on a play that was suspended earlier this playoffs. And there was nothing. Nothing handed down. Oh, here we go. We got to give away scores. Oh, my God. Goose Forsling. Oh, my God. Is it one of the... So, first off, terrible giveaway. Second, Gus Forsling. Are you kidding me? Orlov with the giveaway here. And this is where the Panthers are insane. The motor never stops running. Look at the forecheck you got for Hagee. Kachuk throws it into the corner. It's not really great. Ekblad's able to keep it in. And then you got Forsling on a turnover, bang, and it hits a defenseman. That's Orlov, and it goes in under Freddie Anderson. Okay, I'm not going to give Freddie Anderson crap too much, but guys, it's 1 minute in. 1 minute and 15 seconds into the game, and it's already 1-0. Oh my God, the Cats. The Cats, baby, the Cats. 90 seconds into the game. 1 shot, 1 goal. And here I am thinking Jalen Chatfield's going to make a huge difference here. Maybe he does, but the Carolina Hurricanes are going to have to do something that they're not excellent at, which is score a few goals quickly. You got to get a lead sometime here. Taylor Hall goes off a stick. It goes up high. Carolina retains it. Slavin keeps it in, bumps it over to Brent Burns, and it pops over his stick. Here's this annoying line that you cannot stop. Marchand, Luostarinen, and Lindell. They've been spectacular these playoffs. So when I tell you they're annoying, I mean it as the biggest compliment I can give you. They are spectacular. Jackson Blake. Looks like his head's okay. He should have played dead. That's how you get a suspension. Play dead. Gostisbehere at center. I want to see what Marchand and Gostisbehere looks like. Chatfield. Oh, Chatfield's a late scratch? I thought he was on the bench. Oh, Morrow is in. Okay, well, here's the deal. Sorry, guys. Morrow, he was like -3 last game. Bummer for Chatfield. He was in warm-up. I thought he was dressed. I don't know why I missed it. Oh, what a hit. Oh, my God. Jordan Martinook on Nico Mikkola. Mikkola gets right back up. He's okay. Martinook with a tip on Dmitry Orlov. Bob saves that. Mikkola goes after Martinook. That was a big hit. They got to show that again. Monster hit. Monster hit. Oh, my God. All right, super chat time. Canadian Girl 83, odds Hayden hijacking the SDPN account again tonight, likely or unlikely? I would say not likely. Goofy Goober. Adam, what are the chances of the hockey guy and maybe Tim and or Sid back on the show? At some point, you got it. But not right now. There's too much going on in Leafland. Martinuk. We're not all, we also on the STP, we keep the guests to a minimum. Not because we don't love people. Clearly we've had people on. But because frankly, every podcast out there puts guests on their podcast all the time. And that's just never been our vibe. We only want guests when they're really going to kick ass, you know? And all of the people you mentioned kick some serious ass. Stall up. Martinuk. Ekblad's going to fire it back in. That would be icing, but they always give it to the veteran guys. He was not across center. We got a super chat here. Question for everyone. I have an Android that just updated. I now have an automatic scorebook for every NHL goal on my phone, but I never asked for it. Am I right to feel both happy and creeped out? Heather, you should feel both. That is wild. That's a little bit strange, actually. Sports Talk Chud. Canes about to go 2008 Lions, 0-16. Ooh, giggling Cat, the Cats fan here. Panthers goal, beer on me. Thank you, Cat, the Cats fan. Makes me, the Leaf fan, sad. We're firing people. You're still scoring goals in the playoffs. How different our lives have gone in the last week. Jared, how about them Danes? I know, Canada losing. What's Kyle Dubas going to do? First round and out again. He was the general manager. I think that's worth mentioning. Super weird that a team with Crosby and Celebrini and McKinnon on it on the first line gets one goal in the game. Nikolai Ehlers there. Heather sent 10 STPN memberships. Thank you, Heather. We love you. Am I missing any other super chats? I just want to make sure I get to them. Are there any up here? Diana Weinemere, welcome to STP VIP. Hey, Diana. Deanna. Oh, it's Deanna. Dummy. Idiot. Deanna. Welcome to STP VIP. You're going to get a brand new STP VIP episode in the morn. Comes out, I think, at like 6 a.m. We've already recorded it. And I'll tell you something. It includes the best breakup story ever. The best breakup story ever. If you're into that sort of thing and you like drama, it's the best breakup story ever. And that's all I'm going to say. Oh, big hit. Mikola's trying to make up for that Martinuk hit. He's like, you know what? I'm going to hit everything. Panthers kind of do that anyway. Gossesbear gives it away. Oh, no. Oh, Luosterainen almost broke in and scored on Freddie. Freddie's able to turn him aside. 15:06 left to go. Here comes Taylor Hall with 4 Panthers and no Hurricanes. $14:52 left in the first period, by the way. This is not great. It's not a great start for our good friends, the Carolina Hurricanes. Not a great start. So, Slavin, Burns, Orlov, Morrow, Gossesbear, Walker. You have to think that Orlov, Morrow, who've already been burned because Orlov, the puck went off him and went in, they got to be considered the third pair tonight, right? It's Gossesbear, Walker. I mean, Walker was their free agent pickup. You got to think that they're going to be playing more than Orlov and Morrow, and you're going to see a lot of Slavin and Burns. A lot. Like, this is the time of year where you go, you know what? You're playing 30 minutes. Good luck. Hey, Brent Burns, you're like 38. We're going to play you as many minutes as you are old. 13:58 left in the first period. Stahl behind the net. Slavin back to Stahl. Fight in front of the net. Stahl's looking a little... I know Stahl was never like the most fleet of foot, but with the Panthers on the ice, it's easy to make guys look slow. Tkachuk takes out a Carolina Hurricane. Fans want a penalty for something. I don't know what the penalty would be for. I guess interference, but they're not going to call that. Furlat, and who's the other ref tonight? Hayden? Dan O'Rourke. So it's Eric Furlat, Dan O'Rourke. Furlat, at least. Dan O'Rourke, I don't know a heck of a lot about, but Furlat, I know, does tend to like the guys to just go. He's Wes McCauley-ish in that way, although different category. Here comes Lindell. Oh, that's for Heggie. Burns out there for Heggie in the corner. Lindell. Aho. Puck on the Panthers half boards. They're going to move the puck out here. Bit of a board battle. 12:38 left in the first. Marchand clears it out. The Carolina Hurricanes, even though like the shot counter says 2-1, let's be straight. Florida's had 2 pretty good scoring chances already. Carolina has had 0. And the Florida Panthers are doing 2 things amazing. They are keeping Carolina to the outside, and they're wearing out their forwards for long enough that essentially once the puck leaves the Carolina defensive zone and goes into the offensive zone, they're in transition and they're trying to change. Gostisbehere shot. And Bobrovsky with a big save at 12:01. Morrow had that shot. Man. So it's, Forsling off of. Oof. Rod Brind'Amour is not loving this. Hey, I wonder something. If Carolina doesn't win a game in this series, and it's hard to not win, but if they don't, do whispers start there? Because I feel like it would be unfair, but I think it's a question worth asking. You know? Because Rod's a great coach. Players love him. But do you say to him, Rod, at least get us a win? We can't leave home without a win, right? Emo Jalapeno says, hi, chat, and go Canes. What's up? Emo Jalapeno and Canadian Girl 83 hanging out tonight. That's what I like to see. That's what I like to see. Our people are hanging out together. That's the whole point of the community. Sports Talk Chud, after firing Shanny, Leafs should just blow it up. Nah. There's a lot to build on here. I think there's inevitable change coming, but I don't think you're even... Guys, do you remember what it was like the last time they blew it up? They hadn't made the playoffs for like 15 years, except for that one time where they got blown out by Boston in the Game 7. Hayden says, would you take Marner back at the same cap hit he is now? No. I think he wants to go. Like, that's the thing. Like, here's the thing. Do I like Mitch Marner, the player? Obviously. I mean, he's spectacular. Electric. But I also think this mix of guys does not work. How many times do we need to see it that it doesn't work? Also, have you seen Mitch's body language? Guy doesn't want to be here anymore. He's done. He did his time. It's unfortunate it ended the way that it did. It's a sad era. Steve's actually got a video coming out tonight about the entire Brendan Shanahan era. And I think you're going to want to watch that. It's going to be great. But I got to tell you, like, what would we be doing here? We don't need to do that. We don't need to do that to Mitch. Watch Medicine. In the Paul Maurice era, Panthers are undefeated after leading in the first and second period. Just impressive. That's in the playoffs, I'm assuming. Yeah, I hate them. So I hate that stat and I hate everything. Just being a depressed Leaf fan. It's not you personally. Sedin Magic 15. If about Rod's career, depends. Is it another sweep? Well, I don't know. I think if it's another sweep, you got to ask the question. If they win a couple games, then yeah, they're fine. I mean, this is one of the NHL's stingiest teams in terms of salary spent. They're a tough team to negotiate with. They don't like spending money on contracts, and look at where it's got them. They got great depth throughout the lineup. But man, there's something about Florida. They are just special. Hayden asks if Raleigh is a nice place to live. I've heard good things. I don't know. I don't think I've ever been to Raleigh. What do you guys think? Anybody here live in Raleigh? I'd love to know what you think of it. Luke Caldwell. What if it's a close sweep, though? That was 2 years ago, and Rod Brind'Amour actually got up in front of the microphone after Game 4, after being swept, and saying, it was like a close sweep, though. Like, it didn't feel like we got swept. Which, in Toronto, I'm going to tell you, wouldn't play well. It's probably how he felt. I think there are better ways to say it. And listen, they just showed a picture of Paul Maurice on the game, and I had a visceral reaction. I want Rod Brind'Amour to stuff his former coach, Paul Maurice, into a locker in this series. I don't know if it's going to happen. Jack Street, what will have more views? Phil Kessel or Brendan Shanahan era wasted? I think Brendan Shanahan, because the channel is 9 years bigger. I mean, Steve was at what, 60,000 subscribers, maybe the last time that Kessel thing was done. I think he's at 250,000 now or something like that. Channel's a lot bigger. So I think this will be bigger. Also, I don't know that he's going to say it was an era wasted. It wasn't. It might have been the last part of it, the last 5 years of it might have been a bit extraordinarily frustrating, and they didn't go anywhere. But I'm telling you something. To say that was a wasted era would be an absolute joke. A wasted era would be poor drafting, not getting to the playoffs, et cetera, poor team discipline, which is what they had before that. Watch Medicine. We in Cats Nation will buy you drinks in the elbow room. I would love to go. Fayed Hook, welcome to STP VIP, sir. You're going to get your new episode tomorrow morning. 10:26. I worked out today and my back hurts. 37. Probably could work out more. If I worked out more, my back would probably hurt less. Here comes Taylor Hall. Big play by Brent Burns. Hall drops back, shoots. Stankoven with a shot. All 5'8" of Logan Stankoven is fighting for that puck. Slavin takes a hit but reverses it. Panther falls. Stankoven behind the net. Carolina Hurricanes fans standing up. They're excited. They love a good board battle. Slavin with a shot. Bobrovsky, that's kind of not a dangerous shot. Bobrovsky holds on to it. Marcus Brady. Hey, Adam, I think I'm done with the Leafs. I've cheered for 20 years, but I think it's finally beaten it out of me. I know changes are happening, but I feel like it's a little too late. Love you guys. Marcus, give it time, buddy. See how you feel in September. You don't need to make a decision on that now. We don't need to make a decision on that. Just, it's raw. And listen, if you want to switch teams, you can. I just know for me, there's not a single team I could love more than I love the Toronto Maple Leafs. Not a single one. There's nothing could replace those memories. Nothing. So I'm ride or die, man. And that's why I always laugh. Like sometimes people are like, oh man, so-and-so from inside the org or player or whatever could be mad at you guys for saying that. And I don't think we're ever personal about it. I think it's more just like, this sucks and you're not performing. But my comment back is always, listen, we're going to be here longer than they are. Like objectively, all of us fans, we're going to be here. You know, careers will come and go, and players will come and go, and free agents will be signed, and people will be drafted, and there will be next crop. And I'm telling you right now, I'm going to be here a lot longer. So I'm sticking around. Drowsy Dan, Adam, you are the GM now. You decide shiny helmets are a bandwagon your team needs to join. Which team and why? Shiny helmets, like the ones that Vegas and LA wear. Who could pull off a shiny helmet? I think Dallas could pull off an interesting glow-in-the-dark helmet with their crazy-ass jerseys. I think Dallas's jerseys are super ugly, but it could be fun. You know who else could be hilarious? A shiny orange Anaheim Ducks a helmet. By the way, I saw the Ducks jerseys in person when I was in San Jose. They are terrible. Like I said, they were bad at the beginning of the year. I don't think I was hard enough on them. They're terrible. Hayden thinks it's a horrible take. They're terrible. They're ugly. Ugly. No, I don't want a team wearing blue or red, but it doesn't have to be that shade of orange. Here we go. Face off. And that is 9:53 left in the first period. SLS, real pressure. Is someone looking for a job to provide for their family? Hearing these players complain about pressure, playing hockey can be a joke. Oh, no, there's pressure. They put pressure on themselves. Listen, it's a different kind of pressure. That's like being like, you know what's pressure? Being on the verge of death. And these guys are just playing hockey. You want real pressure? Go be on the verge of death somewhere. Go stand on the edge of a cliff. It's not really fair to make that comparison. I will say this. There are many different kinds of pressure in life, and they put tons of pressure on themselves, and we put tons of pressure on them because we don't control the outcome of the game. We have no choice but to pressure them. What do you think Canes fans are doing? They're supporting their team, but they're also pressuring them. It's Part of it. And you know what? It's what the money's for. Do I have sympathy for it? Absolutely. Is it something you're going to have to figure out? Yeah. I can't help you with that. Jux Jersey, yay or nay? So hardcore nay. Hardcore nay. And if you guys say yay on that, I'm going to report the poll. I'm going to report it to YouTube. Have it taken down. James Stemler. Something I've learned as a depressed Leafs fan is that sometimes when the Leafs are disappointing, it's good to make sure you watch and enjoy other hockey to keep your love for the game alive. Agreed, James. That's why we're here. It is fun to watch other games. And you also get the sense of like, hey, my team didn't win. What's a winning team look like? Man, you watch Edmonton and Dallas? Those are two winning teams. Edmonton should have won that game. They didn't. You know why? Dallas is a winner too. Also, Stuart Skinner can't play goalie, or he's the best player on the ice. It's never in between. I don't know if you guys heard the stat. He's not had a game in these playoffs where he's been above 836 in his save percentage, except for the games where he shut the team out. But his save percentage is either 836 and below. Oh my God, the Panthers just scored again. They just walked right in and did it. For a Hagee cut out front, I don't know if that went off the defenseman. That happened so quick. Carolina was fine. What happened? They were fine. They set up perfectly, and then Verhaeghe just walked out front. No one touched him. Carolina had the puck. Okay, they back pass it. Bennett makes the hit. They throw it up the boards. Mikkola back behind. Nobody's on Verhaeghe, and he just walks out. And it goes off Tkachuk, I think. Yeah, Tkachuk scored that. What happened? Why are they so out of position? This is bad. Wow. Man, I can tell you, if the Carolina Panthers were the Toronto Maple Leafs right now in Game 2, there would be cars turned over in our city. Yikes. 8:11 left in the first period. Carolina, I'm just going to say it, and it's an insult. And I don't mean to be insulting, but this is insultingly bad. They're soft as hell. Or at least they've been soft. They are soft. Capital S-O-F-T, soft. Wow. And people are saying Anderson has to have that. Okay, maybe. I don't even put that on him. Where is Carolina's defense? Where are they now? Florida's going to score again right here. 8:02 left in the first. Shot. Freddie saves it. Florida could have easily had a goal there. Lindell, Luostarinen, Marchand. Watch the hell out, man. What is going on? Luke M., you can't talk about soft as a Leaf fan. Actually, Luke, it makes me an expert. I know what soft looks like, pal. The Leafs aren't soft this year. They were soft in years past. Nobody friggin' knows soft like the Toronto Maple Leafs. Are you kidding me? That's like being like, hey, you work in the sewers. You can't say shit about poop. I work in the sewers, man. Sedin Magic 15, at least the Ducks brought back the good logo. They did, just not the good color combo. Jared, thoughts on Jeff Blashill becoming the head coach of the Chicago Blackhawks? Us Lightning fans are glad he's gone. Also, the Lightning need drastic change. Do the Lightning need drastic change? The Lightning are not going to be sitting on their butts, that's for sure. The Lightning need to get better. They've had a lot of talent leave. As far as Jeff Blashill, I don't know. People say a lot of good stuff. I haven't seen it. Not that he's a bad coach. He's an NHL coach, right? But I didn't see anything in Detroit that made me go, this guy needs it. But you have to be honest. I don't know if there's any Blackhawks fans in the chat. Have you guys David Carl from the University of Denver already turned them down. There were several other coaches apparently that they interviewed. I don't think it's like the most sought after job in hockey, which is crazy to say because there's only 32 of them. But I don't know. One guy I'm curious about why he's sitting on the sidelines is Jay Woodcroft. He had a good run with the Oilers. It was short, but it was good. I'm surprised he hasn't been hired yet, and I wonder what's behind that. Is it just that the Oilers' tenure ended so bad or whatever? I don't know. 6:56 left in the first period. Stahl, Slavin, Martinook along the boards, back in the Carolina zone because they just can't get the puck out of their zone. This Carolina game looks a little bit like the Leafs at their worst. Not skating, not able to zone exit, and not hitting anybody. And also, your feet aren't moving. SLS, Ducks had the perfect jersey with their second reverse retro, and Dallas needs to go back to the early 2000s one. Agreed on both. I did like that Ducks reverse retro. That was cool. The Dallas jerseys have been bad for 15 years. Just terrible. Man, what else we got? We got any more super chats? Panthers fans, are you not entertained? Man, they shushed that. Giggling cat. The cat's fan. I am committed to the bit. Now, have another beer. Thank you. It almost looks like have a northern beer, which it also works. I'm from the north. The cat's fan. Thank you for being committed to the bit. 6:24 left in the first period. What are Carolina going to do? See, sometimes you go down 2-0. Sometimes you go down 3-1. If you're the Dallas Stars and you're down 3-1 going into a third period, you simply score on 3 straight power plays. Can the Carolina Hurricanes score like that, though? Usually they're like, hey, we're up 2-0. Let's just park the bus in front of the net. Nobody gets through. Now they got to cheat offense again. Florida, every time Florida scores first, and by the way, it looks like Carolina is going to the box. Or is it Tkachuk? Why did they blow it dead? If it's not Carolina, why was it blown dead? Okay, so it's Svechnikov. Another penalty. By the way, the penalty that he got last game led immediately to a goal. And I think it was the first goal. So Svech put Tkachuk into the bench and then punched him in the back of the head. And then that's why. By the way, he got a penalty last game for punching a guy in the head too. It might have been Tkachuk. So, maybe don't do that. They are going to call that, Svech. I got to reset my stream here to look at your super chats, everybody. There we go. Got it. Cassie says, I would like to inform Hayden that I bought it. I have no idea what you guys are talking about, but Hayden, I'm sure, will be thrilled. Oh, a Team Canada jersey. Why did you buy a Team Canada jersey? That's great that you did. You wanted to sit from the World Championships, and they lost today. You should have, you could always return it and get a Sid Olympics jersey. That's what you want. We in South Florida have endured actual hurricanes. We are not intimidated by men dressed as hurricanes. That's fair. That's totally fair. And I think South Florida gets way more hurricanes than like Raleigh would, right? And really, by the time the hurricane gets to Raleigh, it's like a Cat 1. Whereas in Florida, it could be like a Cat 5. I'm always blown away by hurricane footage. A weird obsession with hurricane footage is crazy. Super chat. Matherman, late, but wanted to give my congratulations on Shanahan getting Shanahan. I'll see myself out. Yo, that's Matherman. That's funny. Shanahan. If we name Hayden's like, that's got to be the name of the pod tomorrow, man. We named Monday's show Shan-Explosion, and it's got almost 200,000 views. And I am concerned that if we named that the next podcast Shanahan, as great as that is, would we get blackballed by Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment? I don't think so, but it's salt in the wound, isn't it? They did what we wanted. Shanahan is so good, though. Here comes Tkachuk. Oh, this is just not what the Canes needed right now. I get why Svech is pissed, but and your PK is good, but you don't need a 3-0. So you're hoping that Florida doesn't get established. You're hoping that they don't score. Freddie's definitely had his confidence shaken, no question. And I know what that's like when Freddie gets his confidence shaking. Tails, Cat 5, great name for the Florida's starting 5. Yeah, it sure is. Actually, you know what? They should say that. They should say, and here's your Cat 5. I don't know. Would people find that inappropriate? I don't think Floridians would. Floridians they have the I don't give a you-know-what about most language of that. They get a joke, is my point. I feel like, I don't know, Floridians in the chat, you'd be down with it, right? It would Hayden says they're a bunch of snowflakes. Ha ha! Ooh-ha-ha. Ha ha! Tom Dykstra says Shanahan is great. Everybody wants it to be Shanahan. Okay, I'm gonna text Steve and Jesse. SDPN. Oh, here we go. Here we go. We got to shoot it and go. Oh! Oh man, we got to rush the other way. It's a 2-on-1. Loose riding. Shot. Oh, it's blocked off of someone's head. I think that was Martinook. Might not have been. Verhaeghe with a shot. It's blocked by the same guy. It was Martinook. And they score. Martinook took one off the head, another off the knee, and Verhaeghe scores again. Dude. Wow. This is crazy. They almost score a goal. Martinook creates that. Then he blocks 2 shots, one of them off his head, and look for Verhaeghe. Score. How? Okay, now, if you want to make the argument that Freddie needs to have that, I'm all ears. I'm shocked. Look at the Canes fan. He's like me. He's like, what? But how? They can't leave Carolina without a win, right? Hayden says, I guess I was right after the last game when I said we only have 3 streams left. This is nuts. What's going on? Hayden says Freddie can't start the second. Is it time to go to Kachekov? I mean, I only put 1 goal on him, and that was the last one. I mean, the entire reason that they were even shorthanded is because Svechnikov's like, you know what? Punching Matt Tkachuk in the back of the head. Now, it's fair that he would think that he wouldn't get called for that after what Aaron Ekblad did to Jackson Blake. But that was late in the game. And the score was out of control. And I'm not saying that it's not deserved. All I'm saying, like, the penalty was deserved. But the refs just don't call those. Giggling Cat says, Cat the Cats fan says, at this rate, I need an Uber to leave the bar. Go, Cat. Please drink responsibly. Damn, dude. Alex says, I just turned in to see Freddie needs to have that in instant PTSD from seasons past. Alex, man, we so been there. We've so been there. By the way, in the chat, we've got a thing up. Why can I never remember the name of this? You know, the thing where you vote? What's that called? Where you clicky in the votey? A poll. Thank you, Hayden. We have a poll up. We want to know if this is going to be a sweep or not. All right. Sedin Magic 15, is this game over already? I mean, it shouldn't be. It's the playoffs, but Cassie says, bold of you to assume I won't buy an Olympic jersey as well, Adam. It also was signed, so it was worth it. Oh, that's sick, Cassie. I want to see pictures. That's sick. A signed Crosby? Team Canada? Get out. That's sick. 3:17 left in the first period. 3-0 Florida on... Are you ready for this? 5 shots. 5 shots. Roslovic gets the puck to Orlov. Orlov can't keep it in. Okay, if you're Rod Brindamore, okay, you're the head coach. You got that cool haircut. We've got that one little gray patch, just the one. You're in better shape than some of these players on the ice. Players love you. What the hell do you say to these guys after the first period? What do you say? Like, I don't know what you say. Because a lot of times you think coaches are going to go in there and just tear it up, and they don't say anything. A lot of times they'll just be like, guys, like, let's cool it down and get them next period. Like, you'd be surprised at how little that happens. It's rare when they get in there and go, right? Is this a yell at them and get them fired up time? Or is this a, guys, have faith in each other. I have faith in you. By the way, it was Sam Bennett with a goal. Sam Bennett. As a Leaf fan, yuck. Alex, Do you think the Leafs should have given Maurice more of a chance? I sure do. It was like 20 years ago. Their goaltending sucked and their organization was a mess. I think the Leafs were such a disaster that if Paul Maurice was the greatest coach on earth, it wouldn't have helped. The Leafs were a disaster. What's that, Hayden? Didn't he win the cup with Carolina in '06? Or was that Laviolette? I thought Maurice won the cup in '06 with, could have been Laviolette. Who won the cup with, who was the coach of the cup winning Hurricanes in '06? I want to know. D's Nuts 122. Hey, Canes have been down by 3 at home this playoff before. It's not over yet. This is so not cope. Hey, listen, I am never going to tell you in the playoffs to not cope a little bit. Cope as much as you need. I'm a Leaf fan. We have coped our way through the last 9 years. We coped our way for the previous 15 years where we didn't even make the playoffs. Come on, man. Cope. Cope away. Oh, so it was, yeah, you're right, Hayden. It was Peter Laviolette. So, yeah, Paul Maurice hadn't even won a cup until last year, is what Hayden was saying. He's like, come on. Yeah, listen, Paul Maurice was a highly touted coach. He obviously was Carolina's coach for a long time, and then he coached the Toronto the St. John's Maple Leafs or whatever their farm team was at that time for a year, and then he replaced Pat Quinn. The problem is that he wasn't given a great roster. They were run by just a whole management team full of goofballs, like total clown car knobs, not ready for the salary cap. Just made the dumbest calls you can even imagine. Jay Fresh's take is that Brindamore's system is too exhausting. By the time they get to the Eastern Conference Final, they're broken. Thoughts? Okay, so I can understand what he's saying, but then how do you account for the Panthers, who run and hit and run? And if you watch the Panthers against the Leafs, and they went 7. The Carolina Hurricanes, oh, wow, big hit. Carolina Hurricanes only played 10 games, and they had a week off before playing the Panthers. What's the excuse? And the Panthers never stopped forechecking the Leafs. The Leafs would be like, okay, we're going to change and get set up. And the Panthers would be like, okay, great. We're sending 2 guys in, and we're going to turn Chris Tanev into applesauce. So while I understand what Jay Fresh is saying, I disagree now that I've talked it out. Just because I think they've had time to rest. They dominated their first 2 series. I think this is a poor matchup. And maybe the Metro's just not that good. And we got a penalty. I think it's a too many men. Oh, it's a slash. Yeah, I snapped a stick. Okay, so that makes sense. Oh, so is Marchand throwing the puck away, and then, I think, no, it's too many. It's too many men. Yeah, too many men. Mikkola and Jones went out, and then sorry. F Fox, as a Panthers fan, I credit the Leafs more. What do you credit the Leafs with? They are definitely a better matchup against Florida. Florida's definitely the better team, but Leafs were close. Jared says we were all right about the Mid-Tropolitan. It is the Mid-Tropolitan. The Atlantic is I would say, the toughest division in the sport. And if you don't believe me, don't look at the first place team. Look at the last place team. There's a reason why Atlantic Division higher teams had less points than, say, the Central, the Pacific, and the Mid-Tropolitan. There's a reason. The reason is, when you have terrible teams at the bottom of your division, you can feast on them night after night after night. Look at the Boston Bruins. When they won the points total, the President's Trophy in 2023, you had Buffalo, Montreal, Ottawa, and Detroit. All of them were bad. Detroit was the best of them. And you look at the draft picks that they've made since, the Sabres had over 70 points this year. But you go and you play like the Sharks and the Blackhawks, and they're in the same conference and or same division. You know, what do you think? Nashville and Chicago were in the same division. You know, who do we have? I didn't even look at the standings here, but Carolina, you're talking about, and it's not a great division. I don't know. It's just mid. Or maybe this is just a terrible matchup for them. Maybe if the Leafs got through, Carolina would be handling them. I don't know. Cam says Rod needs to show a clip of McDavid from the finals. Dig in! I like how his voice cracked on that one. He was so pumped. 18 seconds to go. 50 on this power play. Shot! And that is blocked. Seth Jarvis gets the shot tied up. 10 seconds to go. Gostisbehere, got to do something. Shoot on the net. Shoot on the net. Come on, you dummy. Shoot. Shoot. Gostisbehere with the shot. And they missed. No, they're not going to shoot. Gostisbehere, dude, you got to. Okay. Svetch needed to shoot there. Gostisbehere had 2 open looks. Boys, you're starting to look like the Leafs. Shoot the puck. Which team? Oh, Carolina's playing like a team of Thomas Caberlet. Carolina, home to Thomas Caberlet's brother, František Caberlet. If you're a true Canes fan, you watched him play. Noombudge says, check out what year Paul Maurice was born, and it explains why the Leafs can't beat them. Was he born in 1967? You got to be joking me. SLS, Shanahan had the problem like Masai Ujiri, staying too loyal to players. Van Vliet left the Raptors for nothing when they should have traded him. Yeah, I think they thought they were going to sign him. And then the Rockets were like, here's way too much friggin' money. And he was like, well, that's way too much money. I got to take that. Yeah. Masai has made some rough decisions. Like bad. Meme Empress says, Paul Maurice was born January 30th, 1967. Yuck. Sports Chalk Chud Sabres won an Eastern Conference game more recently than the Canes. That's not true. Is that true? Did they get back to the Eastern Conference after the Carolina series in 2006? Damn. Cassie, I'll tweet pics when I get that Crosby jersey. It's one of only 25 available. Cost me an arm and a leg. Bank account was not a fan, but you know what, Cassie? Your life account will be. Goodbye, everyone. I'll be in the mountains next week for a wedding, so I will be MIA for a hot minute. Cassie, we love you. We will miss you. Enjoy your wedding. Have the best time. I hope it's an open bar. Everybody, I don't know what to say about this Carolina thing, man. They look bad. Like, okay, maybe Florida's better, but so is Carolina, right? They're better than this. Right, Canes fans? They're better. They're not total horseshit in their own. I gotta stop swearing. They're not horse caca in their own end. Right? This is rough. They're looking terrible in their own end. Austin Bayless just got here. Please tell me I'm misreading the score and the shot count. Austin, you're not. And guess what, Austin? The goals didn't look very good. It was not great defensive coverage. The Sabres lost in 5 games to the Senators in 2007 in the Eastern Conference Final. Huh. Wow. And the Senators got their asses kicked by Anaheim right after that. I remember being a Leafs fan and being okay with that. Again, I wish I was a better person than that. I am not. The Ducks killed them. Cassie says, not my wedding. Also, I don't drink, Adam. Okay. Well, I know it's not your wedding. Or I thought it was not your wedding. But hey, congratulations. And also, you don't drink. Well, happy designated driving then. YT commenter, welcome to STP VIP, friend. Alex says, this makes me feel like the Leafs loss wasn't quite so bad. Alex, they were outscored 12-2 on home ice in games 5 and 7. It was bad. That's cope, man. I'm sorry. They should listen. If you want to sit here and you want to tell me the Leafs could have beat the Panthers, I think the Panthers know the Leafs could have beat the Panthers. Everybody knows the Leafs could have beat the Panthers. That's why when they threw 2 games away at home, we were like, hey, you should be winning. Come on. We have a Marner clip? Oh, great. I'm sure that'll go well. Hayden says we have a clip of us talking about Marner. Believe it or not, and a lot of people wouldn't believe this, we were quite complimentary of Mitch Marner, and I think he's going to be successful elsewhere. I am, right now, as of this moment, Maybe a week from now this changes. I'm 50 million% sure he's leaving. So it's a little sad. And we get into that in this clip. Have a watch. Do you want to go to Mitch Marner?
Sure.
Jess, any thoughts? Did you want to add to that?
Yeah, no. What's the...
So 6:43 to 7:43, just a full minute here on Mitch's time in Toronto and how he hasn't really processed where he might want to go and what he might want to do.
Do you want to Maple Leaf next season, Mitch?
I've always loved my time here. I've loved being here. Like I said to you guys the other night, I've been so grateful, and I haven't processed anything yet. It's still so fresh, and losing sucks.
How much of an impact do you think the pressure and the media scrutiny, how much do you think the pressure from the scrutiny you guys get in this market kind of impacts your ability to win, do you think, if at all, in this market, like the scrutiny you're under?
There's pressure everywhere. There's pressure anywhere. Doesn't matter where you are. There's always pressure, and we put the most pressure on ourselves. I mean, we hold ourselves to such a high accountability. You want to win every single year, and it'd be lovely if you could. It's hard to do. I mean, like I said, we hold ourselves to such high accountability that the pressures from the outside, I don't think really bothers you too much. It's the more you put on yourself.
Mitch, you control your own future. What will go into the decision for you? Like, what's important for you wherever you land next season in terms of family, money, team?
I mean, like I just said, it's so fresh that, it's tough to really think about anything right now about going forward and future-wise. I was hoping to be playing a hockey game tonight, and that's not the outcome, and I haven't thought about anything, next coming weeks I'll sit down with my wife and we'll start talking and trying to figure out what the next steps are.
We can probably pause it there. So that's where I don't believe him. I don't believe that the pressure only comes from within the room, that he's unaffected by it, because I've seen it with my eyes. And he can lie to, he doesn't have to tell us that. That's not good if he tells us that, in fact. But I know that that's not true. And you know that that's not true. That's objectively...
he's in a self-inflicted war with the camera every time he steps in front of it. And that's just the way someone's programmed.
Yeah. Well, I don't...
You can't...
Jonas Siegel wrote... Jesse, I don't know if you saw this. Steve, I don't know if you saw this. He wrote an article about how it's better if both sides part.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes.
And I agree with that.
Yeah.
I know everybody online's like, well, you're going to miss generational. Sometimes that's... Like, Mitch is a great player. The mix doesn't work. You've already signed...
What am I going to miss? What am I going to miss?
So...
Mitch does this, Mitch does that. What have they accomplished as a group?
Definitely, yeah.
Holy shit.
Yep.
It's insane you have to justify this to people. Oh, my God.
What would you be without him? I don't know, man.
I don't know.
What are you
But I'm about to find out.
Maybe worse, maybe better. Anything's better than this shit.
Yeah. So...
Oh, my God.
So what I think here, and there is a little bit more about him leaving, and we'll get to it. What I think here is interesting is... Jonas Siegel very lightly references what we got into serious detail about, which is that 2019 negotiation. Before that, in front of the cameras, Mitch, people forget this. Bubbly and fun.
Care Bear.
Total Care Bear, beloved by the market. But, where I wish Jonas had gone a little harder, and maybe there's a reason he didn't, Mitch's team bungled that negotiation from a PR perspective. They won it. They won that negotiation, hands down. They got everything they wanted.
At what cost?
Well, and this is the point. Because I don't think Toronto received that well. And I think that because of the lack of success because Toronto at the time was like, I'm glad you're signed, but now I'm going to expect you to perform. Mm-hmm. And the performance, I think, that he had a great, 2019 playoffs where he had 9 points in 7 games. And then, but then after that, it sort of disappeared. And there were key moments where, and I'm not talking like people talk about, 2023 had a lot of points. Most of those points happened in the first 3 games against Tampa. You got to look at the point spread.
I can't do this every year.
And I know,
can't explain
but we have
this.
to repeat it every time because there's a lot of new people coming in who haven't heard the show before.
I know.
And I caution the, I caution you on this in the sense that I feel like there's yes, you're losing a great player, but if you continue to do this and expose this player to this sort of, because there is animosity, right? He was booed every time he touched the puck in Game 7
and the seed
in the
for
third period.
Those boos were planted 5 years ago, 6 years ago.
And that comes from, I'm sorry to say it, that's his team.
Yes.
That might not be him, but that's his team.
And none of them have taken a lick of accountability for it.
And there is a statement from Darren Ferris in that article from Jonas Siegel talking about, well, these are very personal decisions and they're very private. They sure weren't private last time.
Nope.
And so I do want to put that out there. Every time it's like, oh, it's the media and it's the fans' fault, which I'm still pissed about.
I hope
you look at this and you go, actually, no, we didn't do any of this. We had no control on this.
I hope the team he signs with, the next best superstar on that team, their agent comes out and goes, what a stupid fucking contract.
That happened.
That's exactly what he did to Austin. That's what him and the people he pays lots of money did to Austin. Austin signed his deal February 2019, and Marner's agent did this whole press tour going, what a stupid fucking contract.
Mm-hmm. It's also worth mentioning that this is the same agent that turned down reported 8x8 for Taylor Hall and went, we're going to free agency. And when the musical chairs stopped, now, Marner's not going to be in this situation, but when the musical chairs stopped, what happened? Taylor Hall ended up with a 1-year contract worth $8 million where he scored like 3 goals with the Sabres, and then they traded him. And how many teams has he been on since? And then finally now, he signed a long-ish 3-year deal with the Carolina Hurricanes to actually stay somewhere.
What, 3.5?
Yeah. This is the same agent. Yep. And I think that's worth mentioning. This guy loves to drive for free agency. It's pretty clear. People are like, well, the Leafs were willing to offer him 8 years, $13.5 million. I believe that report. I believe that that's true. I don't think this guy cares about an 8-year deal. I think he cares about a 3 to a 5-year deal.
I don't know.
So I don't think if you think the Leafs are going to trade his rights to somebody for that 8th year, it's not going to happen.
No.
But I do feel like, hey, that war that you're talking about with the camera, that starts from that camp. And I'd love to see a little more ownership from that. We'll never see it. But that starts from them.
The amount of times these guys who know where every comma and period in my videos are, the amount of times I've screamed into the camera, can you not fucking get in the ear of your guy?
Stop sending him articles.
And it's almost every time I've been talking directly to people in his camp. And they're too dumb. They're too dumb. They won't stop.
I think Mitch Marner, like, he's made up his mind that this situation isn't good for him.
I think he's right.
He's 1,000,000% correct.
I think he's resigned to the fact that he won't be a Toronto Maple Leaf next year. He can't say it publicly, but like the question off the top of the audio you played there, like the question is, are you going to be a Leaf next year? And he says, I got to think about that. And you hear somebody who is actually wanting to be a Leaf next year, and John Tavares, and they ask him, hey, you going to be a Leaf next year? And he says, yes. And I think the life here in Toronto has been very difficult on Mitch Marner, and there's a lot of boneheaded fans who have not made it easy for him living here. And I think both sides know that it's not a comfy situation for the organization or him as a person personally. And I think he knows that he gets to move on here because they have given him that decision by walking him to free agency.
It's not a fine line between legitimate criticism and harassment and destruction of property. It's actually quite a thick one.
Yeah.
I can't believe you have to say that. But yeah, some people were way too much.
Yeah.
And by the way,
I think we should all accept the fact that the Leafs can look at this team and say, you know what, we're losing a really good player, but whatever we did the last 9 years with him wasn't enough. So even if we're worse on paper or better on paper with whoever we get, at least it's something different. So I think as fans, we should accept it.
I agree, Jess. I totally agree. The one thing I want to say is that I know when other fan groups are, they're trolling. They're like, hey, yeah, all Leaf fans are like this. Look what happened to Martin.
I don't care.
That's obviously what I don't like is when people at legitimate sports outlets who are journalists make that same argument.
Oh, they threw beer on the ice. Did all 20,000 people gather together and shot put the same beer?
Or was that one person?
Onto the fuck off.
I don't like that. And now
these people vote.
More about leaving. 8:45 to 9:10. So just a quick sort of 25-second clip here, or 35-second clip. My math sucks. And then we'll move on to a different player.
Yeah, I mean, I know I keep saying the same things, but it's tough to process at this moment. Like I keep saying, it's so fresh. It's 24 hours of our season ending. I haven't thought about anything. I haven't sat down with my wife. I haven't talked to her about future, next steps. And like I said, that will be in the next couple of weeks. We'll do that and we'll start figuring stuff out. And but I've been, like I said, forever grateful. And especially with this group.
So I want you to imagine for a second that you're married, you just had a kid, or you had a kid on the way the entire season. And you could make close to $100 million in free agency this year if you wanted to go max term or more.
Oh, him. Yeah.
But whatever. You want to tell me that you've not sat down once with your wife to talk about that? Yeah, come on. I know that you're not telling the truth, and that's okay, but I know.
Yeah.
Yes, you've talked about it, and that's okay.
That's a good way of putting it. It's, hey, you're lying. It's all right, you're lying.
Yeah, I don't blame you for lying.
I don't blame you for lying. Yeah.
But the idea that he hasn't processed it yet, I can imagine he hasn't processed the game, guys. I can't imagine that he and his wife haven't talked about this at least once a week for a year and a half. Because I can tell you that's what we would that's what most people would do. Hey, what do we want to do with our future? What country do we want to live in?
A lifetime of hard work has led him to, I don't know, kind of a pretty enviable position. Like, I hammer this point all the time, but there is your having a child life and there is your after having a child life. And you're very fresh. And you have the opportunity to start over somewhere new and make like 8 or 9 digits when you do it. God, what a blessed life. Like, that's, I don't know, you got to be happy for him or jealous. I don't know, pick a lane, I guess. But that's a lifetime of hard work that's led him to this. Would it maybe have been a happier Cinderella ending if it ended up being here where he stayed? Yeah, maybe.
If the situation was different.
I think he'll be just fine wherever he lands.
Jesse, did you get a feeling sense for him? Just, obviously the questions were, there's the pressure and then this and then that. Was he any different than he ever is in that press conference?
I don't know about different. There's always like a happy-go-lucky Mitch Marner, and then there's this kind of Mitch Marner where he's fighting the media. Well, fighting's not the right word.
It's business.
It's business. It's where he's not going to give anybody much.
No,
I feel like what you're hearing right there is how he feels about the media and the relationship right now with everything that's going on.
Yeah,
like I don't like he's
gone.
He's not happy about how things have ended. He can't be happy about the things going on in his personal life, dealing with the fans and all that stuff. So I don't know. I think he understands that it's coming to an end, and it sucks.
Hi. Oh. Now? Oh, Hayden was muted and then said you're live, and then I didn't hear him because he was muted. And here I am. It's okay, Hayden. Who cares? It's all right, buddy. We're just hanging. We're chilling. Hi, everybody. What did you think of the Marner clip? Was it sad? Because it's sad to me. I'm beyond mad now. Now I'm like I'm not. Sometimes you get mad at performances, but like the guy, man, homegrown guy, came to his hometown team. Shit. Anyway. D's Nuts 122, Mitch Marner, you are a Carolina Hurricane. He might be. Quick question though. So today some particular teams came out. It sort of makes sense why the Panthers were trolling the Leafs after their next round. As I suspected, the Panthers want to sign Marner this offseason. And I don't blame. Reinhardt's out for the game. Oh. Okay, Panthers PR just tweeting that Reinhardt is out for the game. That's an opportunity for Carolina. We have a wrinkle. Can Carolina take advantage? Not the way they're playing in the first period. But yeah, I feel like Florida, the reason that they were on the charm offensive after the series was they were like, well, if it wasn't for this circus, they could be great. I think what they're signaling to him is, hey, man, we're already really good, and so are you. And there's the media and fans thing. I know there's Panthers fans, and I know there's Panthers media, but it ain't the same. So why don't you come here? And you know what? If I were them, I'd be like, hell yeah. What's the tax situation in Carolina, by the way? I need to know. In North Carolina, what is is there state income tax? Because that I think does play into it, because the teams that were mentioned, Dallas, Vegas, Florida, and there might be a couple other teams, but all of those teams notably mentioned by Darren Dreger, and he's connected. He's quite connected to the Marner camp. All of those players, or all of those teams are, my brain. All of those teams are tax-free states. I would imagine Nashville would sign him too, but they have too many wingers. They need some centermen. And I think Mitch wants to win. Soul Ant 64. My Rangers are in a similar position to your Leafs. Both cores need to be retooled. Love the pod, and we'll always root for you guys when we're out. Scores! Carolina Hurricanes have scored a goal! And it's Sebastian Aho, the guy that needs to score. Less than a minute in, and they're back in this game. And no Sam Reinhart, Selke nominee for the Florida Panthers. You got to take advantage. Now, let's see how this play starts. First off, it's Jordan Staal with a little bit of a forecheck, creates the turnover, and the puck just goes to Aho. Sometimes you just need a bounce, and it bounced. Look, Aho just gets it. Boom. Nice play. Great work. Wow, that just squeaked under Bobrovsky's pad. Bobrovsky had the angle on him, too. I hate to say it, though. You kind of want to save there. Are they going to challenge? Are they going to challenge for offside? Are they challenging? Florida's taking a timeout to review. Well, while we're doing that, I'm going to get to some super chats. So, yeah, South Ant, thank you so much for saying that. Go Rangers. SLS, I hope the Leafs don't try to keep the core together just because they were better than Carolina against Florida. They're not. They're not keeping the core together. Don't worry about it. And by the way, when John Tavares re-signs with Toronto, and he will, it's going to be at a steep discount, and he will not be a member of the core 4 any longer. It will be the core 3 at that point. It'll be Matthews, Nyes, Nylander, and that's it. That doesn't look offside to me. Am I wrong on that? Where's Jackson Blake's foot? That looks onside to me, but Florida is going to challenge. I would love to know why. Austin Royal, hi Adam, as a Canes fan since 2011-2012 season with the first 4 periods of this series has been the most disappointment I have felt from this team. Dude, I don't think Carolina's this bad. I think that I think the Panthers are in their head. I think they're intimidated. But I don't think Carolina's this bad. This is not Carolina Hurricanes hockey. This is Florida Panthers domination. So Aho and Svechnikov have been fired up. They want to get something going. This is a risky challenge. This could bring Carolina right back into the game. Like this is on the level, not quite as much on the line, of Jim Hiller's challenge on Evander Kane's goal in the LA Edmonton series. You guys remember that one, right? After that, Edmonton didn't lose a game in the series. They just won 4 straight, and it was over. If Carolina goes to the power play here, Florida's got a really good PK, but Reinhart's not on it. He's not coming back tonight. Okay, let's see what happens. I love that this comes down to Toronto. No goal. Wow. I thought that looked onside. Okay, let's see. Let's have a look at the angle they didn't show us until after. Oh, it's there. Did it go off Kachuk's stick? It does go off Kachuk's stick, but then it goes off a Burns stick. Okay. Okay, well, man, even when Carolina needs a break, they can't catch one. Wow. That's so flippin' deflating. Oh, my God. I was excited. Wow. Big challenge. Straight up, Panthers are smart to challenge there. They saw something. And by the way, Carolina's just not been able to generate much, although here we go. Just as I say that, of course. Hayden says 4 shots for Carolina is nothing for them. It's true. Carolina is a team that gets like 35, 40 shots a game. They fire everything at the net, and the Panthers will not let them. Holy. Sports Talk Chud, I hate these offside reviews. All Matt Duchene's fault. It is. I hate them too. In the playoffs, I get it. In the regular season, please stop. Jacques has joined SDP VIP. Yes, welcome, Jacques. And by the way, you're getting your new VIP episode tomorrow morning. McDiesel says, gotta wear the Panthers out. Amen to that. Wow. Roslovich. Walker's in pain. Is it a stinger? What happened? Oh, he got killed. Oh, my God. That was a big hit. Oh, the thing about that hit, it's not that Greer hits him particularly hard. It's that he's twisted post-shot afterwards, and that just gets your back. That's going to hurt later. Damn. 17:36 left in the second period. There was a Carolina goal. It was called back for offside, caused by a turnover by Jordan Staal. Brent Burns tried to keep the puck in. They thought it had gone off Matthew Tkachuk's stick and back in, which means it wouldn't have been offside, but it actually went off Brent Burns' stick. Aho with a great shot. Bobrovsky had the angle on him, but he beat him between the legs, and it doesn't matter. Wow. Hey, you know when everybody says Toronto's super quiet during the playoffs? You hear what it's like in Carolina? Now, I will give Canes fans a lot more credit for standing up and yelling, go Canes, even when they're down 6 or 5-2 like they were last game. They were doing it. But Toronto has gone through some absolutely psychologically torturing losses. And you saw 2 of them in games 5 and game 7 of this series against Florida. No wonder we're quiet. 16:35 left in the second period. That's an icing. Now 16:34. I'm going to do a little clap here. Puck's going to come back to the Carolina zone. And we're going to get a defensive zone draw for them. And Walker has gone to the dressing room. So 2 important players gone from this game. Reinhart for Florida, Walker for Carolina. Here we go. And a called back goal already in the second period. Oh, yeah. There we go. 16:33, 16:32, 16:31, 16:30. Let's align streams and hang out and watch the game. And oh my God, Carolina. Like, I'm sorry, Florida Panthers fans, but Carolina is the story here. It's not that you're not great, but it's because you're so great that everybody's like, what's wrong with Carolina? Gostisbehere keeps that puck in and immediately gives it back over. This is the thing. Sometimes you do have to corral it, go back, reset. Panthers offside, 16:09 left in the second. All right. Super duper chats. SLS Adam. Oh, also, got to talk on the show about how Canada lost to Denmark and Dubas was the GM. LOL. LOL. That's, you know what? I'll tell you now, that's the most bummer way for Marc-Andre Fleury's career to end. I was really hoping he would hoist a trophy with Sidney Crosby one last time, and I think that's what he was hoping to. Heartbreaking. Mo Bailey, as a Devils fan, I'm not cheering for the Panthers, but I am cheering against the Canes. Meow. I don't blame you, Mo. You gotta hate. Listen, you can't not be a hater. If you're out, if you're eliminated, be a hater. It's okay. That's what it's all about. People are like, who are you cheering for now? Nobody. I'm a hater. Watch Medicine. That hit on Reinhart was dirty AF. Kane's dirtier. I did not see the Reinhart hit, but Hayden is going to send it over. Apparently, it's making the rounds on the Twitter, in the Twitterverse. And my Twitter's not working, so I can't look at it. Hayden, why don't you just text me? Oh, what a shot by Jones. Yep. My Twitter's just not working, straight up. So there's that. Cool website you got there, Elon. It sucks. Oh, there it is. Oh, so it was a collision with Sebastian Aho, and Aho butt slams him in the side of the knee. Ooh. Oh, that didn't look good. Oh, boy. His leg, he was basically, Reinhardt was crossing the blue line with the puck. Aho hit him with a hip a little bit late, although on the replay, you can see that it's like super slow-mo. So he is finishing a check, and his knee kind of goes in because his skates are facing this way, and Aho's coming in, and his skate is dug into the ice, and then his knee kind of does this. I hope he didn't hyperextend it. That might be something, like if you hyperextend it, I don't know if you can come back. Hopefully it's just a severe strain or something. That's rough. Wow, you're right. That's a rough hit. But not illegal. Random fun fact from Graham Strang: Cliff Fletcher was 3 years old when the Montreal Maroons folded. Remember Montreal had 2 teams? I don't, but Cliff might. 14:35 left in the second period. Carolina with still only 5 shots in this game. Hayden, is there any way to find out how many shots per game Carolina has, averaged throughout the season and averaged throughout the playoffs? Is that possible? I need for you to have context about this because this is nuts. Nate Schmidt with a shot. Sam Bennett with that setup, then runs into the goalie. Where have we seen that before? Giggling Cat, stay on, Canes. We play better when no one believes. Shapoki says, keep crying, Leafs fans. This is why so many other fans can't stand you. As a Leaf fan, I have to tell you something. We don't care. I'm not a fan because I need other fans to like me. Luke Caldwell says, Adam, since this game is pretty much over, what will it take to get those grippers out? Guys, you have to pay the tax. And by the way, the likes are a little low tonight. Is it something that I didn't say or something that I did say? Can we drop a like in the chat? It's free. It's free. 13:22 left in the second period. $13:05. Here comes Mikkola with the puck, and it is okay. What is the average shots for the Carolina Hurricanes? Hang on, we got a 2-on-1. Marchand, Lindell, broken up. Orlov is able to get a stick in there. Fans applaud that. At least they have something to applaud. And here come the Canes again, or the Panthers again, and nobody guarding the side of the net. Oh, big hit at center ice. Lindell turns the puck around. Luostarinen, shot. Freddie with the save. All right, Hayden, tell me. Tell me what the average shots for the Carolina Hurricanes were for the regular season. So the Carolina Hurricanes averaged 31.8, so basically 32 shots a game. They have 4, 5, and what about through the playoffs? Do we have that one? And in the playoffs, it's 33.27. So for the Carolina Hurricanes to have 4 shots, that's not is Florida that good, or is Carolina like legitimately shook? I think they're shook. Like, these are NHL players. They're human beings. These guys are shook. This is not a, come on. Dude, this is crazy. Roman says, American broadcast just showed a wild stat. Panthers are outscoring opponents on the road 20-4 in the last 4 games. Oh my God. That's friggin' crazy. Shafe says, I think Carolina's just putting in their best Leaf impersonation. Hey, the Leafs were good a couple of games. They had 3 good games in that series, maybe 4. They could have won game 3. But they didn't. But they could have. Jordan S. asked a question. Where's that? Flames logo, Jordan S. Adam, name the current Conn Smythe favorite for each of the remaining teams. Rantanen for Dallas. McDavid or Draisaitl for Edmonton? I think it's got it. Yeah, Draisaitl. You're right. That helps. For the Carolina Hurricanes, I might have said Freddie after the Washington series because Freddie allowed 5 goals in or 6 goals in 5 games, and now he's allowed 8 goals in 2 games. It's very Freddie Anderson playoff. Carolina, Jake Slavin, maybe Aho. And then I'm gonna go for Florida. Man, all of them been good. You know what? Fun. Brad Marchand. You going to say Bobrovsky? See, I think goalies are too easy sometimes. People just go, oh, well, goalie. I can't decide on forward, so goalie. And I always think that's boring. I don't know that Bobrovsky's been that spectacular. The Leafs sure had his number for the first 3 games of the series. He hasn't been 2023 or 2024 Bobrovsky, where 2023 Bobrovsky, unbeatable. Unbeatable. It's crazy that team didn't win. Vegas was that good, though. Remember how he was just he was just a shell of a man and making crazy saves. There was that picture of him taking his pads off, and you're like, where is the rest of him? He's a tiny little man. He's lost weight. Yeah, I would say those are my picks. Marchand for fun. I think he's been spectacular, actually. I think it's some of the best hockey I've seen him play. Gadjevich almost had a goal there, by the way. There's a guy the Leafs allowed to score. Yay. Love that for us. All right. Schmidt getting booed by the Carolina fans for not making a play. And I think, icing waved off. Morrow gets the puck up. Carolina just cannot get the puck out. Look, they get to center ice again. Now that's offside. But still, Florida was going to break that up and turn that around, and it was like they have no answer. There's no pop. And I know, Jay Fresh said, Jay Fresh said earlier that, the system exhausts the Hurricanes. They'd only played 10 games, and they had a week off heading into this series. I don't buy it. I respect the point of view, but I don't buy it. I just don't know. I think this is a noggin thing, man. This is in your head. Canes fans, back me up on this one. Does this look like your team? Because, they were close in 2023 against the Panthers. They are certainly not here. James Stemler, Canes only having 5 shots at the halfway mark is wild. It's actually Canes. Watch Medicine. As a Panthers fan, I didn't have much animosity towards the Canes. After that Reinhardt hit, Panthers, we want to embarrass sorry, pathetic Canes brooms. It's the playoffs. You're supposed to hate your opponent. That's okay. Pierre-Luc Dubois in the chat wants to know if I believe in the Darth Jar Jar theory. It would have been the bomb. But no. It would have been the bomb. It would have been that would have completed the trilogy, the prequel trilogy. By the way, for whatever reason, my TikTok algorithm has started showing me stuff from Rise of Skywalker. Boy, did they ever screw up the 2 second movies. Even Force Awakens sort of a little New Hope-y, They did nothing with Finn's character. Nothing. It's like he just became like a side guy. We think he's force sensitive. He's just gonna. We'll put him on the weird planet where they have those crappy speeders, and they're gonna have to. It's literally Hoth again. 10:23 left in the second period. Last Jedi, bad movie. There, I said it. There were parts of it that were good. Watch Medicine, Panthers, Stars, or Panthers, Oilers. What's more compelling? See, that's tough. If the Panthers if the Carolina Hurricanes got in, I would definitely want Dallas to get in because I want to see Mikko Rantanen play another former team. But if the Panthers get in. Isn't it better if McDavid and Draisaitl get another crack at them? Isn't it better? Don't you want to see that? That series was crazy. Joachim Hillman, I'm back again. Like every game, you beautiful man. Now, who do you like more, Paul Maurice or Rod the Bod? Well, you mean personally? I have to be a Paul Maurice hater. Guys trolling the Leafs after Game 7. I can't. Come on. And Florida Panthers fans, you understand. You're like, yeah, I get why you hate him. That's why we love him. But as a coach, certainly I would say that Maurice has his team a little bit more prepared for this series than Rod the Bod does, which is crazy because Carolina just danced through the first 2 rounds. .936 left in the second period. Marcel Martin, as a Leaf fan, the Oilers need to fail, so McDavid wants to leave. Don't tell Oilers fans, but because they'll never forgive me. But I would be okay with it. I sure would love to see him in blue and white. Hayden says, is it more likely he comes to Toronto if the Oilers win a cup or don't win a cup? Because he's only got this year and next year left on that contract, I would say that it's more likely he comes to Toronto if they don't win. Because if they do win, and then like this year, and then next year they don't win, he'll be like, well, we won the cup like 18 months ago. I should probably stay and see if we can win another. He's going to go. McDavid's not a lock. If he went to free agency and he decided he actually wanted to leave Edmonton, he's not like a lock to come to Toronto. McDavid's going to go where he can win. Like the guy has, what has he made? Like $100 million already? He's got money. And he can do endorsements for literally the rest of his life. He's going to make millions and millions and millions after he's retired, just doing like Rogers commercials and commercials for Lululemon or Aloe or whatever company that athleisure wear that he does. Hayden says he can take over Crosby and McKinnon at Tim Hortons. Sure, whatever. Like, I think that Connor McDavid is going to go for it. What team gives me the best opportunity to win? Who's got the best plan? And if that happens to be the Oilers, great. Alex Schubert, finger on the monkey's paw curls. He now plays on the Lightning. You mean if McDavid plays for the Lightning? Oh man, I would die. The thing is, if McDavid does leave Edmonton, which again, I think there's a better than 50% chance he's staying at this point, right? Because they're really good. If he ends up not in Toronto, I don't want him in the Atlantic. Let's put it that way. Watch Medicine. Any chance McDavid becomes a Panther? Hey man, the Panthers keep winning. He's gonna go where he can win. Dev Stangl says, are the Canes on the way to getting swept again? Are the Canes on the way to getting not swept again? Aha. It sure looks that way. Ori says McDavid to Boston. Oh my God, I would die. I would never forgive him. I'd be like, you're not welcome back here anymore. I know you're born here, but you can't be here anymore. Sorry. Boston? No, that would be horrible. You have to think he'd consider it, though. Boston is a well-run organization. I know the Bruins fans are pissed with their management right now, but like, I think they've done pretty good. What's that, Hayden? Hayden says, do you think about trading McDavid if he doesn't sign an extension July 1st? No. You soak every game out of that dude that you can. And if you lose him for nothing, well, at least you had him for 10 years. Listen, McDavid's agent is the president and CEO of the team. His junior coach, handpicked, is the coach of the team. Took them to Game 7 of the finals last year. Kind of feels like a place he's going to want to stay, right? Like, as much as we joke about it, I don't think he's going. Why would he leave? They've done everything they can. That's his organization. And you can offer him cartoonish money. He's made cartoonish money. Like I said, it doesn't matter. He doesn't need to be like, there are certain players where they're going to get more endorsement money if they're in Toronto. I would say Mitch Marner is one of them. If Mitch Marner is in Toronto, he's going to make more money on endorsements than he would make if he was, say, playing in Florida, right? But, nice play there. Carolina Hurricanes with a bit of an attack here. This is rare. I'll get back to that in a second. But Connor McDavid's the best player in the sport. And he's a Canadian guy. Like John Tavares did Dempster's bread when he was with the Islanders. So did Crosby. Crosby's never played in Canada. And he still has like that prime spot on the Tim Hortons ads. McDavid, it doesn't matter where he goes. He's going to make the money anyway. Also, if taxes are a factor, taxes are lower in Alberta. Stankoven with a play out front. Shot! Oh, that's the best chance Carolina's had in an entire period. Martinook with a shot. Tipped! Stankoven going to the net. Okay, we're getting something going here. The fans can feel it. They're cheering them on. Let's go. Get back in the game, boys. Orlov collects the puck. 6:58 left in the second period. McDavid with Utah could be interesting. Hey, now there's a team Mitch Marner might want Mitch Marner. You think, and I'm not saying that because I know anything. I don't. But like, think about Utah's position in the market. They just got there. They made a good trade for Sergachev. He got injured. Oh, nice shot by the Panthers. Might be another goal here. 3-on-3 here. Taylor Hall flanked by two defensemen. Hit to the boards. It turns around, and there go the Florida Panthers again, doing what they do, getting the puck out of their zone. 6:19 left in the second. So, what was I talking about? Oh, I can't remember. Logan says, do we run Pickard once available? I'm assuming you're an Oilers fan. Yes. You can't, Stuart Skinner can't have a game like that and then continue to play. If Pickard was available for game 2, and I don't think he is, you start him. That's a total collapse. And I know he's had up and down parts of this year. We're at the part of the season where you can't have downs anymore. Can't. Utah for Marner, by the way, is an interesting one because Utah needs to make a splash. And they could offer him goofy money and a really good team. Think about what's on that team. Like, go through Utah's team. By the way, I love seeing their logo. I think the more I see their logo, the more it grows on me. So you got Keller, Cooley, Genther as your first line. Schmaltz, Barrett Hayton. Keep an eye on Barrett Hayton. That kid's going to be good. And Kaylor Yamamoto. So you get Mitch Marner. He's a right winger. And you pair him with Keller, Cooley, Marner. Or do you keep Genther with those guys? You sign you could sign Marner and a center. And, move Barrett Hayton down. I mean, how did Nick Schmaltz this season go like? I think like anybody that plays on Mitch Marner's line gets an instant 10-point bump too. Yeah, Schmaltz had 63 points. Dude, Schmaltz had 20 goals. Nick Schmaltz would absolutely tear it up with Mitch Marner. That's all he needs. Barrett Hayton, by the way. Barrett Hayton had, and this kid is young too, 6'1", 24 years old, 46 points, another 20 goals. Yeah, so okay, put Mitch Marner on with them. That would be a crazy fit. That'd be great. Imagine Mitch on that power play too. That'd be sick. Kaylor Yamamoto, no disrespect, is not a guy that you're going to have on that right wing for much longer. Like, they're going to have to get somebody. So, Mitch Marner actually fits the Utah Mammoth. Like, that's perfect. That's a great fit. Cool Manny 21. Hit like, you guys. Come on. Exactly. I agree. Robar, we need a version of 12 Days of Christmas. Instead, it's the 12 Days of Leafmas. 5 golden rings becomes 4-1 lead. Tragedy is comedy. The Clutch Canuck says there's a Reddit thread from 2 years ago on who is currently the worst coach in the NHL. Paul Maurice was 90% of the answers. I think because the dressing room in Winnipeg at that point, and it didn't get a lot of play in the national media, was pretty bad. I don't think he meant bad, but I don't know that Blake Wheeler's time as the captain of that team
I mean, they did have that great run to the Eastern Conference or Western Conference final. I don't think that was maybe, and he even admitted this, I think maybe that dressing room was pretty split. And I think that he maybe wasn't the best option for captain. And obviously, they stripped him in his last year there and stuff. And he went on to play great in New York. Roslovic with the play, Svechnikov with the shot, Bobrovsky with the save. Once Bobrovsky gets set in a game, by the way, man, good night. Carolina has had 3 shots in this period, guys. 3. Actually, 4 now. They're up to 8. The shot counter's drunk. And Jordan Staal is offside. Baby Bark, thoughts on NHL viewership being down 28%? Well, it's a pretty easy answer. No Rangers, no Islanders. So that's New York. LA out in the first round. No Chicago. No Pittsburgh. That's a huge local market. That's like the first time that's ever happened, where New York, Pittsburgh, Boston are all out of the playoffs. So, when you take your biggest markets out, yeah, you're going to have some issues. And no disrespect to the Panthers and Carolina Hurricanes, but if you're picking matchups based on ratings in the United States, that's a nightmare. And it's not because they don't have great fan bases. It's just they're not scaled to the size and they don't have the history in their markets like some of those other teams. Just is what it is. It's growing, and that's good, but that's probably part of it. A lot of Canadian teams left too. Remember, in the second round, 3 of the 8 teams were Canadian. So that should account for some of it. And one of those Canadian teams was the Jets. Like if you had the Montreal Canadiens instead, or if you had the Vancouver Canucks instead, I think you're probably less worried because there'd be a lot of Canucks fans in the United States. There'd be a lot of Montreal Canadiens fans in the United States watching. There's one of those teams. It's 100 years old. Lots of fans internationally. I don't think it's a product of the game being bad. I think it's just a product of circumstance. You are going to have those years. Well, Bennett off the post. Also, let me just say that I've heard that the ESPN app is a nightmare to navigate. Oh, Panther falls. Oh, they break it up. Oh, my God. Seth Jarvis had the opportunity of a lifetime there. Could not get the pass over. Oh, and William Carrier was wide open, and he just couldn't get it over. Oh, nothing going Carolina's way. And by the way, Carolina back to 3 shots this period because they've taken a shot back. 3:10 left in the second period. Sports Talk Chud. Almost every year the Bruins are good under Sweeney, and every year we want him fired. Like, yeah, his drafts are rough, but they nearly won a cup with him. Yeah, listen, the Bruins' time was coming because the draft record is terrible. And look what happened. But you know what? They tanked the right way. They got a nice little pick this year. They'll do something in free agency. I think the biggest mistake the Bruins have made is that Elias Lindholm contract. They needed a center, and they're like, okay, well, you're a center. And they didn't watch him play in Vancouver. He wasn't a factor. He was their third-line center, and they gave him $8 million. It's bad. It's just not a good move. I don't know what they do about that contract. I think that's a bad contract. 2:11 left in the second. I got a couple super chats to get here in a sec, but we'll wait for a whistle. 2:04, 2:03, 2:02, 2:01. 2 minutes left. Nate Schmidt from the points. Tipped. Anderson with the save on the Nosek tip. And here come the Carolina Hurricanes. 3-on-2. Morrow. Here we go. Oh! I don't know who that was, but they just missed. Oh, I think that was that Robinson? Oh, or is it Jackson Blake? I can't tell if it was 50 or 53. Oh, man. Just nothing for the Canes. Nothing. Roslovic. Around the net. Intercepted. Panthers again break out of their own zone. How many times do we need to say it? 1:15. Oh! Brent Perns loses his stick. I think it's snapped. Oh, Taylor Hall falls. This is a chance for the Florida Panthers. Tkachuk to Bennett. Tkachuk holds the puck. Not very mobile, but he's letting the guys get set up. 1 minute to go in play for Hagee. Shot. He already had a goal in this game. I think he's got 2, actually. Bennett down low.
Verhaeghe, Tkachuk hanging out in front of the net. Bennett, Ekblad at the line. Carolina Hurricane player without a stick right now. Puck out front. Sam Bennett scores. His second goal of the night. 39 seconds left. That was clinical. That was a clinical goal. Sam Bennett, Matt Tkachuk, they just knew. They just knew they'd be there. These guys know each other. Tkachuk cannot move. And he was right where he needed to be to catch Sam Bennett with this. Look at this. So you see the transition at the line, and obviously it doesn't help that Roslovic doesn't have his stick there. Verhaeghe gets Verhaeghe got it around to Bennett. Sorry, Verhaeghe's having a hell of a game. Wow, how about this line? This was the line I thought Carolina wouldn't have much trouble shutting down. Verhaeghe, Bennett, Tkachuk, and mostly because Tkachuk ate the Carolina Hurricanes alive a couple years ago, but he's injured. He got injured at Four Nations, and he didn't play for the rest of the regular season. Bennett has scored 8 of his 9 goals on the road in the 2025 playoffs. Man. Oh, here we go. Yeah, Carolina can't get anything going. They can't do a damn thing. I'm not trying to rub salt in the wound, but I'm shocked. 4-0 on 16 shots. By the way, Florida scored 4 goals on 16 shots last game. That's a goal every 4 shots, guys. A goal every 4 shots. I don't even know if there's much you can blame Freddie for on that one. That's bad coverage again. Wow. Snoopy Kendall, some of my Leafs fans I know are concerned Matthews is maybe going to be Forsberg with injuries, given the weird injury with this season. Warranted? I don't know. I think that's a little early. Drowsy Dan, the reason I say that's a little bit early is he thinks he's going to be healthy by training camp, so I would assume he would be. Drowsy Dan, I think it's time we made peace with the fact that Gavin McKenna is going to be a Bruin. No, he's not. There are far worse teams, and there are going to be, what's interesting for a lot of teams that are trying to get good, there are going to be a lot of teams tanking this year. Cap is going up. There's going to be a lot of movement. You watch. There's going to be some teams that go, you know what? Screw it. If we're going to be bad, let's be horrible. Let's sell everything that isn't nailed down. Hayden says he thinks they're going to see the single worst season of any franchise ever. He doesn't know who it's going to be, but he thinks it's going to be terrible. So I think there are 2 teams that people would point at and be like, it's going to be them. Sharks and Ducks. Ducks don't want to lose anymore. Neither do the Sharks. They're done. And the Sharks are drafting 2nd overall this year. It's time for them to start getting better. It's time for the Ducks too. They also have, underratedly, one of the best goaltending duos out there. And I think the Ducks are going to challenge for a playoff spot. I keep saying that. Giggling Cat, everybody at the bar getting tipsy. Cat, the Cats fan, is having a good night. Thank you, Cat. We love you. I would say, you know what? It could be an underrated team to tank. If they get off to a poor start, what about the Vancouver Canucks? If Pettersson stinks again, and you're looking at, oh my God, what are we going to do about Quinn Hughes? Wouldn't winning the lottery and getting Gavin McKenna on board keep Quinn Hughes? And even if you had to trade Quinn Hughes, you get a king's ransom for him. Probably from the Devils. So Calgary doesn't seem to want to do it. Nashville certainly doesn't want to do it. But maybe they just accept their fate. Who else could be bad? Sabres probably should. But who do you even sell? I think they're testing the market for Bowen Byram right now. That'd be like three teams in 3 years for Bo Byram. But they made the trade for the center. Who was the center from Ottawa? Why can't I think about this right now? They traded Dylan Cousins for him. His name is Hayden. Who am I thinking about? Norris. That's it. Yeah, I think the Sabres might be too good. I'm trying to figure out. You know who might might be an interesting one for that one. Columbus was really good this year. What if they traded off their roster? You know? Just a thought. Rob says Seattle's a good choice. Yeah, Seattle is a good choice. They don't have like a star. Shane Wright and Beniers are good. They haven't quite broken out yet, specifically Matty Beniers. I don't know. Just a thought. All right. What do we got here? We got Watch Medicine. Maybe the Leafs weren't embarrassed. Cats just too good? No, the Leafs were still embarrassed. The Leafs, listen, guys, it's not that the Leafs lost. It's how. And it's not that the Panthers beat them. The Leafs beat themselves. If the series was close in those last 3 games, if Florida wins 2-1 in Game 5 in overtime, and then the Leafs win Game 6, and then Florida wins 3-1 in Game 7, nobody is having these conversations. Nobody's booing. Nobody's throwing beer. It's the Leafs going, oh, yeah, for the 9th year in a row, let us remind you that we just sometimes don't show up in major games at home. You cannot run that back. You can't. Chris Gamer ST, welcome to STP VIP, buddy. New VIP episode coming out tomorrow morning. Chris Gamer ST, as someone from the Vancouver area, most Canucks fans would definitely take a tank here to get McKenna. I think Canucks might be an interesting one because I think they're better run than I think the Flames should have tanked. I don't know why they didn't. Sedin Magic 15, as a Canucks fans, I actually agree with you, but the Canucks' horrible lottery luck won't let it happen. Hey, you guys got Daniel and Henrik. I know you traded for one of those picks, but come on. You can't say horrible draft luck and have those guys. Hawks 23, at least to me, Seattle is like 1 star player away from being a legitimate contender. That and a competent head coach. Yeah, they sure hire the wrong head coach every damn time. I don't know how Seattle does this. I don't know how Ron Francis continues to get to hire new coaches. Apparently, they're going to talk to the Leafs defensive coach Lane Lambert this week. But, like, seriously, why does Ron Francis get to continue to hire and fire his head coach? Dan Bylsma lasted a season. The last guy who was the Leafs assistant coach, and he also was the Flyers coach, there was a report that came out about him that all the players hated him. And then the next guy gets fired in 12 months. Weird, man. Weird. I also think Seattle could benefit from not having the worst goaltender under contract. What happened to Philip Grubauer? That guy used to be really good in Colorado. What happened? Let's do a clip. What are we doing? You'll like this. Okay, everybody, are you ready for revisionist history? The Leafs should have traded Matthew Nyes. But when? Find out.
By the way, let's talk about there was a big balls move that came to mind, and it was a bit of a slow release. You're not a very good team, and you have a guy who you recently picked 5th overall, and widely considered another player who is widely considered one of the toughest players in the league. Are you trading them and getting better?
No,
probably not.
Yeah,
unless
depends on your return.
Well, unless it's June 23rd, 2011, you're the LA Kings, and you trade Braden Shen with Wayne Simmons and a 2nd-round pick in 2012 to Philadelphia for Mike Richards and Rob Bordson. So basically just Mike Richards.
No offense to Rob, but
I don't know
I don't know who you are.
You traded.
Steve doesn't know who he is.
You traded.
I've never heard of
Wayne Simmons and Braden Shen for a guy who helped you win 2 cups.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you need to be bold.
Concerning.
Who
was on the other end of the Kachuk
Treliving. You know what? I think Treliving was in a spot where... okay, here's what happened. Here's what honestly happened. Maloney stepped in and said, we're not signing Johnny Gaudreau
You're Maloney.
to that contract because he wanted what he wanted. And then at the last second, Maloney said to Treliving, okay, fine, offer him the deal. But at that point, had they given him that offer at training camp, Gaudreau would have signed it, right? And then, but after that, they had lost to the Edmonton Oilers. They got like
in an embarrassing series.
embarrassing fashion, and Gaudreau was really pissed with Calgary management, who, by the way, are a pain in the ass. And Treliving would go on to be really pissed with Calgary management because they wouldn't even let him hire the coach. He
left.
Well, exactly. And so then they finally give approval on the night of free agency. Okay, give Johnny the contract, and Johnny goes, "No thanks." And you know what Matthew Tkachuk says? Well, if Johnny's gone, I am too. And I got a year left, and I'm not. He called them and said, "I'm not signing here."
Is
so
one of the
Treliving
best-
is like, well, I'm gonna have to make the best of this.
One of the best lines in hockey.
40.
Elias Lindholm, Johnny Gaudreau, Matthew Tkachuk. It was
One line,
automatic.
120 goals.
It's unbelievable.
Now, your Maloney story, does that sound anything like Treliving got somewhere and Brendan Shanahan told him, you got to keep
Sounds like
Mitch
Dubas.
Marner?
Sounds like Dubas. Well, I mean, yeah, if you wanted the job, you have to keep Mitch.
Does that not sound a little familiar?
Sure does.
It sounds like we're making excuses for a bad move.
Brad Treliving
You know what, man?
deserves to be president, like, of somewhere. Like, just so he gets to make these decisions now. Be free. I want to bring Brad Treliving to a big Brad Treliving park where he can hang out with other Brad Treliving. He can just frolic like Charizard. It's so unfair. It's so unfair.
Because if we're talking about original sins for him in two different spots, the one is he got to Toronto, he had to agree, like, hey, if you're going to run this team, you can't really move Mitch before his no move clause kicks in like a couple weeks.
Yeah.
Then he just got there, so he's not going to do it.
I just got
And then now he can't get Rantanen for him. And then the other one is you traded Matthew Tkachuk and Jonathan Huberdeau. And if we're going to excuse those, like the excuses are they're both not his fault, but they're also his decision because he's the GM in both those cases.
Yes.
For me,
He has to wear it. I'm not saying he doesn't have to wear it. I'm just telling you what happened.
Yeah, sure.
Here, Adam. I'm gonna propose a trade. Okay,
You're
so
going to cross your legs, too.
so
All right.
so you got a nice car,
okay.
and I'm gonna trade you a nice car too. What do you say?
Well, I don't know how you've kept your car. I don't know anything
how about this?
your
How about this? You trade me a nice car, a nice newer car,
Uh-huh.
and I'll give you two really nice but slightly older cars.
No thanks.
Oh, okay. That's not where.
Oh, yes, please.
Thank you.
I want that so bad.
Thank you. Okay, now it's important that I tell you the best car out of the two that I have to offer you belongs to my parents. So I actually don't have the rights to trade it. What do you think of the deal?
It feels like it's not complete yet.
Yeah, it feels like it doesn't fucking matter what we have negotiated.
Yeah.
Because it's not mine to sell. That's Mitch!
Yeah.
Mitch didn't prevent the Leafs from doing anything. They had 4 entire years to prepare for his no move kicking in, and they didn't care. And I'm going to scream that from the rooftop for as long as it takes for people to understand.
Looking at how these playoffs played out, I think there's a case where you should have done the Matthew Nyes for Mikko Rantanen deal.
I agree with you.
I think because you have Marner and Rantanen for this playoff run, and then you have Mikko Rantanen for 8 years because we know that came with an extension.
Yeah, he would have signed here.
That is I love Matthew Nyes, I think, more than life itself. The only way that's palatable is if Rantanen agrees to the extension.
And he would have.
Yeah, so
that's already been reported.
We don't have
He
to
would've.
consider that.
Yeah.
He did it.
Yeah.
12 and a half. And Marner walks. Marner still walks in that
Sure.
scenario. But you're able to go get Besser or Bennett or whoever else is available in the free agency market. And you're probably through to the third round.
Matthew Nyes is great. He's not Mikko Rantanen.
No.
And I think we're at the point now. I almost dropped my coffee. There's a good thing there's nothing in it. We're at the point now where it's about winning this season. And having a team with Marner and Rantanen and Willie and Matthews seems like a better shot at winning than their current construction, where they lost.
Mm-hmm.
I think Brad Treliving should have made that deal. I think he made a mistake.
I want to...
Damn.
And I think there's the mistakes are adding up a little outside of the decor.
I don't think that Brendan Shanahan... So here's another Nyes trade that didn't happen. And this is this is constantly misreported, and I'm going to correct it for you. Okay? People don't understand this deal.
Well, who's your source on it?
So here's the deal. The Leafs were going to have... They had shitty goaltending. I'm not sure if you remember this, but they had shitty goaltending going into the 2022 playoffs against Tampa. Right? I think it was 2022. Or maybe it was 21. It doesn't really matter. They had shitty
It was
goaltending.
22.
And they had shitty goaltending. And one thing that Kyle Dubas did understand is goalies that have a track record. And he offered and made a deal with Kyle Davidson. Now, you'll remember, this is the year where Marc-Andre Fleury was punted out of Vegas for nothing and won the Vezina.
Yeah, reigning Vezina winner.
Reigning Vezina guy goes to Chicago. Marc-Andre Fleury has a no trade in his contract. The Leafs were going to send Matthew Nyes, 2 first-round picks. Okay, so there's your Minton and your Cowan.
It's quite a lot.
For Marc-Andre Fleury and Brandon Hagel. And the story goes that Dubas went into Shanahan's office and Shanahan said, "Who the hell is Brandon Hagel?" That's what I've been told. Who is this? No, we're keeping Nyes. Are you out of your mind? And
Hagel.
How many goals has he scored just in the last few years?
Now wait though. This deal, there was a time it looked suspect. He had 21 goals and 16 assists for 37 points in 55 games as a young player with the very not good Chicago Blackhawks. Goes to Tampa, 22 games, 4 goals, 3 assists, 7 points. Even in that 23-game playoff run, he only had 2 goals, 4 assists, 6 points. But in the 7-game series against the Leafs, he drew 8 penalties. 8. Since then, he has put up seasons of 30, 26, and 35 goals, 64, 75, and 90 points.
As much as I love Matthew Nyes, if Matthew Nyes reaches those heights, we'll be thrilled.
Yes.
And then so here's the other part of it, that deal that people don't understand is that Marc-Andre Fleury was not only willing to waive his no trade to come here, he was willing to extend.
Yeah, but who's your source?
And then
Who's your source?
more than believe it or not that guy on this deal, not that guy on this deal. And then beyond that,
I don't believe you.
So Shanny says no chance in hell are we trading Matthew Nyes. So they go back and Kyle goes to Kyle Davidson and says, "I'm sorry, we're going to have to amend this deal if we want to make anything happen." And so they come to an agreement, and I think it was like a first-round pick for Marc-Andre Fleury, and Shanny still shut it down.
You're missing the most important part of the first part of the deal,
Which is what?
there's a player that was also going from Toronto to Chicago,
Was it not Nyes and 2 firsts?
and there's one more guy,
Who was the guy?
Peter Mrazek.
Peter Mrazek! You're right.
He was when Dreger had
because they had to
tweeted
make the
about this.
salary work.
Yeah, Peter Mrazek was also in the deal.
This is the Matt Murray Peter Mrazek year,
I'm
where
going
Ilya
to be-
Samsonov came in and stole the net.
I'm going to be sick.
I feel like this is really the Peter Mrazek trade.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
gonna
right.
be
Marc-Andre
sick.
Fleury, who? Hall of Fame? Get out of here. This is the Peter Mrazek trade.
I am going to actually vom.
And when you go back and you look at that deal, listen, I love Matthew Nyes. I just called him a future captain.
Yeah.
But Brandon Hagel is like a first liner on the Canadian Olympic team.
Well, like, here's the thing.
What do you want me to say?
I love Matthew Nyes. I'm not trading him.
No, not now. Not now.
Oh, sorry. It's for Hagel? Okay. No, hey, no, screw you. I'm not trading him. Oh, it's for Rantanen with an extension?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't like Matthew Nyes is great, but the player you're getting back helps you win in that moment.
Yes.
And I'm tired of deals for the future with this team because there's been so much losing in the organization. Whenever they have these opportunities, you need to just go for it that year. I commend Colorado for at least trying. Booger McFarland fell on his face, trying real hard this year to go for it, but at least he tried. Brock Nelson's going to walk for nothing and never play in Colorado
He
ever
might
again.
walk to Toronto.
At least he tried it. You know, I commend him for doing that. The Rantanen thing, I think he bungled, but the rest of it, going for it and getting guys for future assets, like just do it each time. There's too much losing here.
Yeah.
Sorry. That's just the score. I was looking at the score. I was looking at the shots that Carolina has generated. A team who has averaged 33 shots a game. 33 shots a game in the playoffs has 7 shots. Ah! Yo, the Panthers are a friggin' nightmare. I thought they had the Leafs number. Holy moly. Wow. Wow, man. By the way, for everybody wondering, when Jesse says Booger McFarland, he's talking about Chris McFarland, but Booger McFarland is a former football player, now football commentator, so Jesse likes to call him Booger. Also, can you imagine your nickname is Booger? And you're like, no, please continue to call me that on the television. People are blaming Freddie's goaltending. Yo, okay, maybe one. I'll give you two. But let's look at the goals. They're going to show them right now. Oh, no, that's a real flashback. This is the last time Carolina won a conference final game. That's June 1st, 2006. Put them into the Stanley Cup Finals. And Rod Brindamore scored a goal. Brinda Daddy. By the way, the old Carolina jerseys, I'm going to say your old home jerseys, so much better than the black ones. Your red jerseys were way better, guys. Way cooler. I don't know why you switched. Come on. We don't need more black jerseys. We need more colorful jerseys. Go back to the old jersey. Maybe the sweep will push them back to their old jersey. They're way cooler. Yeah. Honestly, can't blame Freddie. Whole team getting dog walked. I agree with you completely. I think one of those goals is for sure a Freddie fault, and I think that was the third one. But the other ones, it's like, where is the defense? This is the Carolina Hurricanes. Freddie's probably wondering the same thing. He's like, guys. So is Kochekov out? Is Kochekov on the ice? Okay, so Pyotr Kochekov is in. Freddie is out. Again, not entirely his fault. Kochekov would have let those goals in too. Yeah. Hayden said you also need to score to win the game. That's an important part of the playoffs. Winning games requires scoring. You don't need to score to win a game in the regular season. By the way, the Carolina Hurricanes have already got themselves a shot. Congratulations, Carolina. You only need 4 more to equal your period total from the first period. If you get 5, it'll be the most shots you had in a period all game. Wow. This is the Carolina Hurricanes we're talking about. Workshop Telescope. Adam, is Doug Sifu here? No, Doug Sifu is suspended. And here we go. Thomas Nosek with a partial break. Kochekov with the save. He's got to cover it up. Not ideal for the Carolina Hurricanes. You probably don't want their fourth line causing a face-off in your zone. You probably wanted to keep playing that, but look at the Florida forecheck. Watch. Nosek shoots. What's he do? Straight to the net. If anybody ever played basketball, and I did, believe it or not, I actually played basketball. I was on my school basketball team. What do they tell you to do? Shoot, go to the net. Shoot, go to the net. Shoot, go to the net. Get your rebound. At least in junior high, they did. That's what you do. And in hockey, they tell you the same damn thing. Marvin says, remember that time you thought Carolina scored, Adam? Those were fun times. Yo, they did score. It was just offside, and it was called back. Also, congratulations to Kochekov. Kochekov is only 3 shots away from equaling the total. Now he's only 2 shots away from equaling the total save count of Freddie Anderson. No, that's wrong. I'm lying. No, that was wrong. Freddie allowed 4 goals on 16 shots. So Kochekov needs to make 12 saves to equal Freddie. So I was wrong. Bad math. 18:38 left in the third. Angie Gray says, Adam, thanks for the streams you're doing. Love to sit back and relax mode. Less stressful than Steve's. Hey, we all have our vibe. 18:25 left in the third period, by the way. Next face-off, I'm going to give you guys the clap so you can feel like you know. People are saying math is hard. It is hard. You can see why I was never great at it, but I do my best. Svechnikov, I felt like, oh, he didn't touch that puck. Orlov put it in his feet. See, even that, you can even see the Panthers, like Orlov shaking his head there, right? He missed a beautiful opportunity. There's no reason that shot or that pass should not have gone right to Svechnikov and created an opportunity. But they are just not crisp. They're not feeling it. Watch Medicine. I guess the Panthers actually have the best D and PK in the playoffs because they actually played 2 contenders in the first rounds. Well, listen, Tampa really didn't put up too much of a fight against Florida. Tampa got crushed. It was a 5-game series. I know they were missing Hagel the last game, but, the Leafs were missing Stallers for all of the series. Thanks, Bennett. Appreciate you. Matthew Brady, Freddie isn't to blame. Maybe 1 goal going to the series. He was beasting. He was. Part of the reason Freddie's letting these goals in is because Carolina's defense is not where it should be. Freddie and these guys have built up a repertoire. He's been here for like 4 years. He knows where his guys are going to be. And his guys haven't been there. I don't know what else you say. All right, here we go. 17:44 on the clock. I'm giving you the clap. Until they're not dropping the puck. They just keep staring at Carolina bench. Boom, there you go. Aho loses it. Carolina gets it back. In it goes. Carrier can't get it past Kulikov. Schmidt's got the puck. If there's any defense pairing Carolina needs to win the battle against in order to get back in this series, it's Kulikov-Schmidt. They're a good pair. They're not great. You got to win against the third pair. Jarvis got hit at center, and there's not a puck in sight, and they don't call it. And Carrier's just got the puck under him, and he slid right into the corner. Anything, whatever it takes to get the puck deep, you get it. Pucks in deep, baby. 17:07 left in the third period. Aho and Tkachuk are pissed. I don't know if Aho is going to fight Tkachuk. Svechnikov already tried to punch Tkachuk in the back of the head. Led to a penalty, which led to a goal. Stankoven is tripped. Greer's going to the box for that, right? Yeah. Of course. You got to go to the box for that. So they're pissed at Aho because of what happened to Reinhart. Again, I want to tell you, I don't know. That Reinhart hit in slow-mo looks like shit, but he was following up on a check that always is happening. Oh, yeah, Tkachuk's going after Aho. Reinhart might be really hurt. Hawks23 says, by the way, let me say, the fit is on point. The flannel watch combo is not something I expected to see, but it's nice. Hey, thank you very much. I don't have a lot of clothes, so I reuse them often. But thank you. Somebody complimented this watch on the last stream, too, and I appreciate you. I do like that watch very much. And not crazy expensive. Oh! Jarvis was able to stop that puck while falling, and that might not have been good because 2-on-1 Florida. Okay, so we got a Carolina power play. Let's get a goal here. You can't let it be 4-0. You can't let Bob get a shutout. This is for pride, boys. Carried in and fired out. Wow. Tim says, I'm not even watching the TV anymore. I'm just in the chat. I had to turn it off or I was going to break it. Tim, I've been there, buddy. I get you. Marvin says, Adam hates Bob. LOL. Bob owns me. Okay? Bob is my daddy. So, and you can clip that. Bobrovsky is my So, of course, I'm a little mad. You gotta, Cats fans get it. They're like, yeah, we kind of kicked your ass. It's kind of embarrassing. I'd hate us too. You guys get it. Here they go. Shot. Oh, Bobrovsky with a save. He has barely been tested. By the way, that's the Canes' second shot this period. They are now 1 shot shy of tying their second period total of 3 total shots. Roslovic down deep. Aho to Svechnikov. Svechnikov in the corner. To Slavin. To Burns. Back to Burns. They're begging them to shoot. Aho shoots. He misses the net, and it goes out. Robert Bett, do you think the cap going up looks like we're losing Marner? Would you try to get Ehlers? Plays left, but he can play right, and then maybe try to get a Matt Duchene. I haven't heard anything about Ehlers, but I wouldn't be shocked if Matt Duchene became a possibility on a short-term contract. He would be a great second-line guy. Tavares at third-line center. And Duchesne's got the speed that they kind of need at that position, but they are going to have to replace the right wing thing. Hayden really wants Brock Besser for the Wild, and the more they think about it, I want Brock Besser too. But he's 8 years, $8.5 million. Are you gonna be bothered by that contract late? Maybe. Giggling Cat said even Bob understands Adam's attitude towards Bob. Thank you, Giggling Cat. I appreciate you. That's Cat, the Cats fan. 14:55 left in the third. Hayden says Besser's a Minnesota-born kid too. Yeah, but listen, everybody in Minnesota grows up wanting to play for the Leafs, right? Right? It's all about Toronto, right? No, it's not. I don't know. People are hating on this year's free agency class, and I get it to a point, but you've got Bennett, Besser. Who else you have? You've got, what's his name? Defenseman. Gavrikov. You got some good players available. Wow, that Mikkola hit on Jarvis was intense. And then Jarvis gets clipped again. Yeah, Jarvis is in pain. He's going in the locker room, I guess. Ooh. By the way, that was and by the way, Ehlers, I know that Winnipeg wants to keep him badly because I think Arneal did the best job of any coach they've had using that guy. When it was Boness, it was like he's barely playing. Ehlers I would love, by the way. But we would also have, that would mean the Leafs would have the number 8 and number 9 draft picks in the 2014 draft because who was drafted before him? That's right, William Nylander. Elander. Maybe we could have Ehlers on the left side, Nylander on the right. Elander on the second line. Or is Nylander playing with Matthews now? Or is Domi playing with Matthews, which is what I think he should do. Florida. Oh, Kachuk tried to get it to Greer, and at least Slavin broke that up. Orlov skates the puck out. He's skating to center. He is going to dump that puck in. Janikowski is in on it. Kachuk is bleeding. He got high sticked, and the ref let it go. Oh. Let's see what happened. Is he selling that, Hayden? Do you think he's selling that, Hayden? I think Kachuk is selling that. I don't blame him for selling that. It's a good non-call. Sports Talk Chud, are we going to get a Chris Paul goal? That's a good question. Jose Pantalones. Yo, Jose, is your last name really Jose Pantalones? Jose Pants? Buddy, what a great name. Jose Pants. Joey Pants. What's up, buddy? He's booing me because he said I said he's selling the call. Joey Pants, baby. JPix 94. Cowan gets the call up for next year for the Leafs. So we can put all the Marner pressure onto him. So JPix, here's what I need everybody to know. Easton Cowan is going to be a very good hockey player. If Easton Cowan becomes Travis Konechny light, we will be very lucky. This guy is not the next Mitch Marner, and I need Leaf fans to get that through their heads. Different player, not the same skill set. Guy friggin' rocks. Should also probably play a season or a season and a half in the AHL. Watch Medicine says, is Bob drinking vodka right now? Wouldn't matter. Yeah, Bob could take a vacation. Bob could go to the beach. They're not getting any shots. Sports Talk Chud says, if the Cats win the cup, do it for Joey Pants. Jose Pants, baby. Jose says, I come from a long line of pantalones. You got a great name, dude. Welcome to the chat. I'm so glad you're here. That's an awesome name. I come from a long line of pantalones. Well, I hope they all fit. Benjamin Johnson, there is a difference between a player picked in the top 5 and someone picked after 20. Yes, most of the time, but sometimes you get a Matthew Nyes in the second round. PK Subban was a second-round pick. There are plenty of really good second-round picks, and later. Henrik Zetterberg was a 9th-round pick. Datsuk was an 8th-round pick. That's right. You can find him. MKI Sports. Sup, Adam? Sup, MKI Sports. One of my OGs in Gripper Nation. Robert Bett. Now, Adam, You know, if Bennett comes to Toronto, the refs will start calling him more. Yes, of course. There's more eyeballs in Toronto. Also, the Panthers play a way of hockey that is so rough that you can't call everything, right? Whereas the Leafs do not. So it stands out when they do something that's a little bit dirty. Whereas it's like the Panthers, like, I'm doing something dirty every shift. What are you going to do? Call it all? It's different. 13:26, Stahl and Mikkola going at it. Can I be honest with you guys? Oh, here comes Mikkola. Oh, that's Rodriguez, not Mikkola. 17, not 77. You big dumb idiot. And that's me. 13-11. Hey, Jordan Stahl. He looks slow in this series. I don't know if that's an injury. I know he's never been a fleet of foot guy. He can't. Game like this, he can't be effective. He can't. You got to, if Carolina goes to the offseason, they got to find a solution at center there. That's just not, you can't. Oh, here you go. Here you go. Panthers. Oh, Bobrovsky with the save. Pierre-Luc Dubois. Kaprizov was a 5th rounder. He was. Samuel Arrington says, hey, Adam, you might want to fix the graphic. It says Carolina with 20 shots. Hayden, did you just put that there for fun? They only have 11. Oh, there you go. Robinson. That's the guy who you're picking to score. Robinson. Orlov. By the way, the Carolina Hurricanes have 4 shots this period, which is 1 more shot than last period and the same amount of shots from the first period. They might get 5. When will they get 5? Will it be minute 6, minute 7, minute 8? What do we think, chat? SLS, I don't know if you saw it, Adam, but Canes fans were chanting, shoot the puck. Oh, I saw it. I saw it. They're doing a lot of the Leaf stuff when they don't shoot. Jackson Blake has been, you know what? Shout out Jackson Blake. Been effective in this series. Already has a goal. Almost got another one there. That's like more scoring chances already than the entire Carolina Hurricanes team put together. Hayden says they need Skylar Brindamore. They need more children. I don't know if Skylar Brindamore is going to be an NHL player full time. 11:26 left in the third period. That's all I got for you. Carolina puts the puck in. Florida takes it out. Carolina puts it in. Florida takes it out. And then Florida transitions. Oh, here we go. We got a 2-on-1. Guess what? Florida's going to block this puck. Oh, no, it went off, Bob. And look, they got it, and they got it out. Hey, guys, I'm pretty sure that's 5 shots this period. There's some life. There's some life with these Hurricanes. 5 shots in a period. We're coming back, baby. Let's go. Let's go. 5 shots in 10 minutes. Come on. Do you hear the footsteps, Florida? Hurricanes coming back. This time it's a Cat 5 against the Cats. Look at all the celebratory memes in the chat. There we go. Yeah. Smash that like button. We got 5 shots. Yeah, I think there was a penalty called there. Luostarinen is going to the box, and he's trying to get Jackson Blake to go with him. Aho just bumps Luostarinen. Jones comes in to bump Aho. Mikkola and Aho go at it, and that's like a foot difference. And Aho smartly backs off. Carrier jumps in. He's not much bigger. This is a problem for the Carolina Hurricanes. They don't have a guy other than like a Jordan Stahl who can physically match these guys, and Jordan Stahl is old. Florida is going to try to kill the Hurricanes. Look at Maurice. He is furious. He does not want... I think they're going shorthanded here. Tim says, I think they should have played Nikishin tonight. I don't know. Is Nikishin ready for this? He's a big boy. Scores a lot of points. Oh, that's a bad elbow. Luostarinen should go for that. But look, smart play. Try to get Blake in there. Hayden says, do you think Tree Living can get Tulsky interested in Ryan Reeves? I think Ryan Reeves. Oh, Marchand pushes over Gostisbehere as well. I knew there would be something between the two of them tonight. Hronk posts pants of white satin, never reaching the end. Chats that I've written, never meaning to send. Hronk, thank you for bringing the Moody Blues to the chat. Appreciate you, buddy. 1:45 left in the Canes power play. Do they get a goal? Do they actually first, before the Canes get a goal, they got to shoot on the power play. Oh, Taylor Hall with an opportunity. Can't handle the puck. And the puck is rung around and out. Watch Medicine feels like a Carolina tropical depression. Now that's funny. You Canes fans, you Panthers fans, you guys, listen, you guys are feeling yourselves. And here we go. We got a Brad Marchand breakaway. Burns can't catch him. And he just does enough, kind of hooks him up. Marchand did get the shot away. Kochekov was wise to it, though. Hayden said that's the two oldest players left in the playoffs. So here comes Lindell. Play to Marchand. Oh, my God. I think Lindell should have shot there. Oh. Zach CO1 says, if you took a sip for every Hurricane shot, you would be maddeningly sober. Dude, if I took a shot for every Carolina Hurricane, well, no, I'd be pretty drunk. But in the third period, I would be buzzed. Justin Silverman, I'm just a sad Lightning fan. Hate watching this. At least misery has company. Wow, the Hurricanes suck. I had them winning the cup. Yeah, we're all just hate watching. Including Canes fans. Canes fans, I feel for you. Gostisbehere can't hold the line. Jarvis has returned to the bench. That's good news. And he's actually on the ice handling the puck. Why did they say return to the bench? They should have said on the ice. Gostisbehere. Aho. Look at that Florida PK, man. They are so tight on your forwards. I don't know why more teams don't do this. They're so tight under the defense there, is what I mean. Their forwards are tight on the defense. I can't spit it out. Greer gets the turnover. He dumps the puck. They're going to change. And Luosterainen is back on the ice. Put Lindell and Marchand out there, and you have a problem again. Jackson Blake hit by Nate Schmidt. Turns around, doesn't get bumped over. Slavin on Carter Verhaeghe. Keeps the puck in. Stall in front of the net. Bobrovsky with the save. Gives it to Nate Schmidt. Why have a faceoff in your own zone if you don't have to? That's one thing Bobrovsky's really smart at. He does not cover that puck unless he has to. I have to give him credit. It was so annoying in the Leafs series. That guy he's feeling himself. He's comfortable. He's not covering the puck. He gives it right back to his defense. And right there, that's the right thing to do. You cover the puck. I'm shocked. I'm still shocked. I'm going to be shocked tomorrow, too. I'm going to be shocked all day. What is going on here? David said, have the Canes fans booed their own team yet? Yes, they have. End of the second period, they were booing a little bit. Not as loud as the Leafs, but Mini Serenity says last year's Canes were better. Okay, Canes fans, here's a question. If you had Jack Drury and Marty Necas right now instead of Logan Stankoven, do you think you would be doing better? I'm not talking about what you did in the offseason. I know you lost Pesce. I know you lost Brady Shea. So that's tough, right? That's tough. But you're still here. So let's just go with the roster that you had from the start of training camp. If you had Drury and Necas, would you be doing better? Stankoven, right? Stankoven? Did I say that Stankoven? Yeah. And Gensel. Yeah, if Gensel had stuck around. But he wasn't there. They had Gensel, they had Shea, better team last year, fair enough. As a Canes fan, I say no. This was a retool year. Marner's going to look great in a Canes jersey. I bet he will. And I bet he'll be free. Like, that's the thing. Mitch Marner playing free is so dangerous. Wherever he goes, he's going to be great. He's going to have that monkey off his back, and people are going to dunk on Toronto. Guy's going to have like 120 points, win the Art Ross, and we're all going to be like, yeah, we knew that he was capable of that, and that's why it was frustrating when he didn't do that. We'll see what he does in the playoffs, though.
Mitch Marner in 2019 had the best playoff, I think, of any Leaf. Leafs lost in 7 because, of course, but he was great. Playoffs since have been a challenge. So wherever he goes, he's got to be surrounded by some guys who have that confidence in the playoffs. And that will be the question. Whatever he does in the regular season will not be surprising to me. Him being great is not a surprise. What he is able to do in the playoffs will be the true mark of whether that contract's a success, as it is with any contract for a star player. And he had moments in these playoffs, and then he had moments of not being great. It happens. $7:19 left. Lot of empty seats in Carolina. Lot of empty seats. Oh boy. That is this is rough. Seven minutes left. Here comes Marchand with another breakaway. And Brent Burns is there again, but he plays the puck with a broken stick. Brent Burns is going to the box. Marchand just created a penalty situation. Brent Burns slapped at his stick. He broke his own stick, and then he played the puck with a broken stick, and you cannot do that. It goes from bad to worse for the Carolina Hurricanes. Bad to worse. What's up, Hayden? Yeah, old man on old man crime again. These are the two oldest guys in the playoffs. Burns, what are you doing? He doesn't even need to do that. I think that's just instinct, right? Look, he's going to get him. Look, slash. Okay, you get him for a slashing call there, but it's on the stick. Just drop the stick. Drop the stick. Drop it. Drop it. Ah. It's like when your dog has something in his mouth and you're like, drop it. Hey. Drop that stick. You drop it. You know what I mean? Cat people, you just don't understand. Oh, people are asking for a clap? I'll give you the clap. Ha-ha! No shot either. Here we go. Boom. There's the clap. I don't know how much time's on the clock because Sportsnet's not showing it. There it is. 6:39. 6:36. 6:35. 6:34. 6:33. Now you can align your streams and we can watch the Florida Panthers power play. And if they score again, you know Florida's not letting up in this game. They're so pissed about Reinhart. They are here to mess you up. The Panthers will not let up the rest of the series. If Reinhart is out or hurt, if he even misses another game, they're going to be like, we're going to kill you. And there's the goal. And it's Sasha Barkov. Told you, not letting up. Wow. So what do we give, hey chat, what do we give the chances of a comeback? Like who's betting a Carolina comeback now? 5 goals in 6 minutes. Can they do it? The Panthers have now scored 5 or more goals in 4 straight road games. These guys are monster. Yikes. You know, I always hesitate to say teams are going to sweep. Carolina's got to show some life. You got to show me something here. Like, what are we doing here? 6:06 in the third. Mercifully, there's only 6 minutes left for Canes fans. I don't know, guys. Like, I just, Doofus says, my team lost to this. Doofus is a Caps fan. Watch Medicine. Barkov has entered the chat. 22-4 in their last 4 road games. Giggling Cat dropping 10 SDPN memberships. Cat, the Cats fan from Florida, having a party. Man, what is the matter? Okay, Canes fans, if there could be a comeback, who could do it? I'm not seeing the Svechnikov Aho line is like dead in the water. They just don't have it. I don't see anything from Roslovich Hall. Like, I don't know. Giggling Cat buying around for the internet bar. Giggling Cat, we love you. Thank you so much. Jose Pantalones. Joey Pants, baby. Joey Pants says, meow. Man,
I have to give it to Panthers fans as much as I hate it. You guys are a funny bunch. You got a really good sense of humor, and I'm grumpy about it. Damn. I like this one. John says, Hurricanes demoted to just the breaking wind. Just a fart. Watch medicine. A hurricane drink on me for giggling cat. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Now we're buying each other. You guys are lovely. I feel like Panthers fans are just tuning in to watch a Leaf fan go, damn, Panthers are great. This must feel great for you. I would love to watch a Montreal Canadiens stream where they're like, man, the Leafs are so good. Or a Sens stream going, oh my God, the Leafs are so great. That's how they're talking on it. Wow, they're so great. Jia Wang, hey Adam. Tough week for sports fan here. Leafs and Jets lost. Oilers lost last night. Man United lost the Europa final. And Team Canada lost today. My sports fandom is on life support. Don't worry, buddy. The Oilers will come back. That's going to be a 7-gamer. I would be shocked. By the way, I still think the Oilers are going to win that series. Cal Pickard needs to get back in that net, though. Stuart Skinner is a non-option. You just simply can't have McDavid and then not have a goalie. Jared, even as a Lightning fan, I want a Marchand jersey. Well, maybe he signs there. I would love for Marchand to be a Leaf. Are you kidding me? That would be so excellent. If you keep beating them, join them. Isn't that how the saying goes? 3:19 left in the game. 14 shots total for Carolina. By the way, just for anybody that did not hear this stat earlier, Hayden found out that Carolina averaged 32 shots a game during the regular season. And in the postseason, they've been averaging 33 shots a game. That's not shots against. That's shots for. You notice how many they have this game? 14! How? This is nuts. The arena is empty. Yes, it is. Mad says, this sucks to watch. I hate the Panthers. Man, Panthers fans are like, woo, you guys called us a non-hockey market for 20 years, and we might have sort of been, but we had bad ownership. Payback's ugly, isn't it? James Stemler, this feels like a first round, not a conference final. I know. This feels like how Washington versus Montreal should have gone. Washington allowed too much from Montreal in that series. Montreal's good. Washington should have swept. Barky Bark says Rod doesn't survive a sweep full of blowouts. Yeah. Okay. If each of these games ended in overtime and the Panthers won all of them, I think Rod's job is safe. But if you've got Rod Brindamore giving up 5 and 6 goals a game, that's roof. Jared, people will use this to excuse the Leafs. They will, and don't listen to them. They're wrong. You have to beat the best teams. That means you have to beat the Florida Panthers. Oh, but we would have beat the Carolina Hurricanes. Did you play the Carolina Hurricanes? No, you played the Florida Panthers. And guess what they did? They kicked your ass in Game 5, and they kicked your ass in Game 7. Shut up. Turn around, take a look at yourself in the mirror, and get some new players. It isn't working. Move on. Although I would say it does show you a couple of tweaks, and they're still going to be okay. Yasu Bangaboy says, let's go Denmark. Better rewatch Denmark v. Canada than this game. Now we hope for a Scandinavian final in the World Cup or World Championship. Denmark versus Sweden. Well, I know. So, yeah, that would be like what? Ehlers versus Nylander, right? Elander. Maybe future teammates. Hayden says if the Penguins or the Panthers win the Cup this year, is it more impressive than the Penguins in 15-16? Or 16-17. It was 16-17. No. I don't think I think they're both good. But what we might have is what we'd be looking at next year is a potential Panthers dynasty. Because the Panthers, if they win this series, this is their 3rd straight final. If they win another cup in the next 2 years after this one, that's a dynasty. 3 cups in 5 years is a dynasty. That's what you need to do. And by the way, give them even an extra year because they went to the finals already and lost. Mishbeam says, Devs fan here. Saw this coming from a mile away after our AHL-laden team still put up a fight against the Canes. Loving it. Cheers from Kelowna. There you go. Yeah, the Devils got screwed this year. That's not like you can't learn anything from that. I will say this though, the Devils need to get bigger. They do. They need to be tougher. Because here's the deal. You could have played the Leafs or you could have played the Panthers, and guess what? They're bigger and tougher than the Devils. They are. Hayden says they should sign Pacioretty. Yeah, maybe. I feel like Pacioretty's family lives in Michigan, so I feel like if he's going anywhere, it feels like a Detroit Red Wing, doesn't it? And they could use some veteran depth. And why wouldn't Steve Yzerman sign him? Patches deserves another deal. If he wants to play, he should be able to play. He was excellent in the playoffs. I think the Leafs would love to have him back, but I think it was hard to be away from his family. Guy's got 5 kids. And they're at that age where you don't get to replicate it. I don't know if you guys have kids, but my kid is going to be 6 years old next week. Can't believe where the time's gone. This time between 0 to 8 or 9, while they still like you, it's there and it's gone. And you feel like it's I don't know, man. It's so crazy. You feel like when you're in it, especially the first year, you're like, oh my God, this is the longest goddamn year of my life. And it does feel that way, but man, does it go fast. Oh. Anyway, that's my dad rant for tonight. 22 seconds to go in the third period. $15 seconds. Hey, Carolina Hurricanes had 8 shots this period. 9 shots. This could be the last Carolina Hurricanes. This could be the last Carolina Hurricanes game at home this year. Barky Bark, Toronto will riot if Marner signs with Carolina. No, Toronto riots if he signs in Florida. Here's what I'm hoping doesn't happen, okay? By the way, Panthers, congratulations. Oh, there's a rat on the ice. When Marner comes back to Toronto, I know there's going to be a-holes that boo. They shouldn't. That's a dick move. Oh, Carolina Hurricanes fans covering their face. Don't look at me. Don't watch me cry. Hayden says he can't wait to see the Marner, Marchand, Bennett line in Florida. The fuck the Leafs line, essentially. Jared says, how many years after a cup can you start harsh criticism on a team? I'm starting to think with the Bolts, they're worse than people think. They're soft. Yeah, they're a regular season team now. Sorry. They can change that, but they're a regular season team now. They're regular season merchants. Hi, I know what that looks like. I'm a Leaf fan. Jim C says, I'm an American. I'm going to Montreal next week and buying 10 pounds of cheesies thanks to SDPN. They should do some advertising with us, damn it. I feel like we do a good job selling stuff. Hawkins Cheesies. Call us. All right. So, listen. That was a tough game. Canes fans, Panthers fans, I already know how you're feeling. Canes fans, I need to know how you're feeling. Do you feel like you have a shot? Do you feel like you can do this? Do you feel like, hey, it's just a game? To quote Mitch Marner, do you just flush it down the toilet and move on? Canes getting Denmarked. Pretty Princess, thank you, Adam. You made this game enjoyable. Thank you for coming in. I really had a blast with you guys. I'm sad that this looks to be a shorter series because I'm having a blast with you guys, and these will be my last hockey streams of the year. Steve will be doing the Stanley Cup final. Few says that game was so unbelievably boring. I'm a Canes Deso. I am dejected as a Canes fan. Marco, Canes fans seem to have gone to bed early. Sports Talk Chud, they had a shot, 17 of them. Henderson Galbraith, stop telling me Rod is a good coach. He's not. He can't adapt. He never makes changes. He just keeps ramming his head into the wall. I'll never understand his hype. Well, I mean, listen, he regularly gets the team to the second round, and this is their second, third round appearance in 3 years. He doesn't make any adjustments, clearly. That is clear. He's not changed a single thing about his lines, but he might be a guy that just believes you ride the horses that got you here. It's true though, the Canes don't adjust. They don't adjust anything. Dakota Perrin, if it's an elimination game, we get a full SDPN stream for the finals, like a game 7, for instance. It's a lot harder than you think to have multiple people on a stream like this. I keep saying it. It's really, really tough. Michael Kelly, I hope you're not a Canes fan, but if you are, Michael Kelly says, is the game over? Michael, the game is over. It seems Rod has modeled the Canes game after Florida, but the Panthers just do it way better. The Canes are 0 for 14 in Eastern Conference Finals games dating back to 2006. And by the way, I graduated high school in 2006. I don't want to know how old you were because it was probably a lot younger than me. John Jacobson, Jingleheimer Schmidt dropped 5 SDPN gifted memberships. Whew. Thank you for dropping that, by the way. Sports Talk Chud, Shandy to the Wings? No, Shandy to the Islanders. It's going to happen. Guys, Panthers fans, you get on with your bad selves. You enjoy this. You deserve it. Divis Druid said, wasn't trading Jarvis for Reinhart smart for Carolina this game? Should have known Florida wasn't letting that slide. Nope. Yeah. Kyle L. Adam sucks. Stop hosting Panthers games since you hate them. Hey, Kyle. You beat us, man. I have to hate you. What do you want me to do? Like you? But also, all the other Panthers fans have been super fun about it. You just seem to be having a bad night. I hope everything's okay. D's Nut says Jarvis came back, though. Yeah, true. As a Kings fan, says Husky Leaf Gaming. Husky Leaf Gaming is a Kings fan? If anyone except the Oilers wins the cup, I'll be happy. Eric Clute says 6-0 coming. Yeah, like if this is what the Panthers are on the road, imagine what they're going to be at home. Yuck. Scary. Hawks 23 dropping an SDPN membership. The Lone Dow. Oh, the Lone Dro. You just got a gifted memberships from Hawks 23. You can check out SDP VIP. Barky Bark wants to drop a Reinhart prayer circle. You know what? I'll participate in that. If I had candles, these are my candles. I'm holding them. I don't want Reinhart to be injured like that. No way. No way. No way. 10 years from now, the Canes under Dubas will win the cup. Man, Dubas feels like such a Canes GM. You're right. Vinny says Bobrovsky needs more credit for his performance. To be honest, Vinny, not tonight. No disrespect to Bobrovsky. He was fine. He didn't have to do much. You know who deserves a ton of credit? The Panthers defense. Insane. The Canes can't do shit, man. And look, Gus Forsling, open the scoring. Bang, goal. Nicholas LeBlond, Canes sweep coming soon. True. Jay Snow says Reinhart is donezo. We don't know that yet. I really hope he's not. That would really suck. Ugh. I hope not. I hope not. Jordy says, to be honest, I started watching to see Dangle lose it. Dangle lose it live, your guys' coverage and vibe. And like your guys' coverage and vibe as a Habs fan. Well, thank you, Jordy. And don't worry, the Leafs always give us reasons to lose it. And now we just get to enjoy hockey. Jared dropping an SDPN membership. Thank you, Jared. LD14, you just got a gifted membership. Lucky you. Drop a thank you in the chat. Bob is Adam's perilous. Bobrovsky is Adam's perilous demon. Perilous demon, like sleep paralysis. That's it. Bobrovsky is Adam's sleep paralysis demon. He won't credit him tonight. Listen, Bob was good, guys, but like he faced 17 shots. And he had 5. Come on. Just let me give it to the Panthers team defense this once, okay? I'm not saying Bob was bad. He had a shutout. Hawks 23. Listen, if you're a Leafs fan, it could be worse. You could be like a Colorado Rockies fan. Yeah, so the Colorado Rockies today set the record for the worst 50-game start to a season in MLB history. They have 8 wins. There are no ties in baseball. There are no overtime losses in baseball. That means they're 8-42. You're not a team. You're worse than the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's friggin' bad, dude. Why? Wow, the Rockies are terrible. MK says, are gifted memberships assigned at random? They are. We don't get to decide. So, anyway. Guys, I had a blast with you tonight. Thank you for joining. That was a lot of fun. And we're going to see you on Saturday night. Hanging out, you and me, Saturday night. It's a date. And we're going to watch and see what Carolina does in Florida. I don't know how they're going to find life in this one. They're going to have to figure it out. Panthers fans, I know you're feeling yourselves. You guys made me laugh tonight. Especially you, Cat the Cats fan, and Jose Pantalone. Jose Pantalone. I love you, man. That's such a great name. Anyway, love you all. Thanks so much for joining. I will see you Saturday night. And Steve will be back tomorrow for the Dallas Edmonton stream, and enjoy that too. Love you. Bye.